on the page. We finna relaunch it again. And stay where they at.
Yes, Dad.
Don't go.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, we're live.
Tell them don't go chasing waterfalls.
Okay,
Tell them don't go chasing waterfalls. Stick to the rivers and the lakes that they used to.
Okay.
What?
I don't know what that is.
Just like that movie.
You don't remember TLC?
Oh, yeah. The other guy.
Yeah.
Wait, did you not know what he was referencing?
I did know what he was referencing.
I'm about to say, boy, you finna get this. I'm finna let you can't interview me.
Yeah.
Only Jamell can speak.
It's gonna be like Michael Keaton, like Britt was saying. It's like Michael Keaton on the other guy. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Here's the thing.
I got a creep.
I got trash money.
I don't know. I gotta be sure to
I ain't gonna lie. I got trash mobile, so the pickings is gonna be slim with me getting some signals.
That's the one.
Oh, there we go.
All right, I'm just gonna have to do all the shots manually. I'm not saving any of this because it might just drop it all again. But
Call me if you need advice on getting.
All right, that's
Yeah, I
my
ain't gonna
shot
lie.
of you and Shevon.
I ain't gonna lie. I want to shoot a.
Oh, look at our
anti-T-Mobile
Look at
commercial.
that.
That's what I have. That's
Do
what
it.
We have to.
Do it.
Hey.
And then
Alright, guys, we
wow.
back. If you don't know where your mama and them at,
Darius' face.
Tell her, come on.
Darius' face.
Oh my God.
what's wrong with my face?
You just had a very
Confused
blank stare.
look. It's okay, man.
It's okay. It's okay.
We live
We
Yeah,
live, baby.
we live, baby.
again.
All the way up.
Hey, stop playing these tricks on me. I did have a crazy face. Why y'all let me have a crazy face?
Hey, man, your wife here, man.
I'm not mad at the camera.
I can't see. I look at that. She can't see. I can't see you. They don't want to see that they're crazy.
And they just over there cracking
You
up.
talking about straight disgusting.
Young whippersnapper laugh at me.
Young whippersnappers.
You let my friends laugh at me. You
I
supposed to be
just
having
got
my
a
back.
pause on your.
Welcome back, Russell. And Brittnee right here. I'm used to having Brittnee in the background.
Oh, is his birthday?
Yes.
Orchestrate.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Russ. You know what I mean?
Hey, Zoe's dad.
Yeah,
Happy
you
birthday,
know what I
Russ.
mean? Did you say happy birthday, Zoe's dad?
Yeah.
That's who he is now.
Hey,
That's how it works.
hey, Russ, did you make your post yet? I've got a lot of titles in my life.
No, you know he gonna do that next Father's Day. That's gonna be the next Father's Day
Yeah,
post.
you got to be a dad for a little bit to do it.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean. So you know, what up, everybody? We in
I
here.
think we're solid now.
Yeah,
I've
we
seen it.
solid.
Yeah.
We solid as poop that you ate cheese all week.
Oh.
You know when you eat cheese,
Stop!
all week, you concentrate
Stop!
and make good
It's-
poop, good hard poops. Sorry, guys.
I'm
Well, it ain't
doing
too
my
many
share,
people out here,
yeah.
man. People need to know they need to poop. People gotta make good turds.
You told him to eat.
How did we get here already? Why are we here already?
I'm like, how we go left so fast?
Savon, this is me.
That's how it is.
This is how I am.
You made me like this,
You
woman.
know what I'm saying? You met me like this. Hey, by the way, if it's any single sisters out there, if you really want to know how to get a man, call me. Darius, 555 G of Cry. 555 G of Cry.
Somebody please get your friend. Somebody please.
Jesus, I will tell you about, you know, Jesus is the light, the life, and the way. I will show you how to get there, and it will be a brother at the end of the tunnel if you do everything right.
Why is it in the tunnel?
She can't meet him in the light?
Nah. Got to go through the valley first. No, you don't start out on the mountaintop.
You gotta meet your man in the dark.
You got to climb. You got to find somebody in the valley with you, and y'all both climb to the mountain. Then you shake Jesus' hand, and then you go on and get married and live your life. I can't believe you just erased.
Where were you all this time?
Hey man, Savon about to get off this show.
I'm talking about Mella Pass with you,
She about to get on her way. No,
He
man.
was talking that whole time, and I was sitting there like, la,
Hey,
la,
man.
la.
Oh, you think it's a game, huh?
It's literally a game.
Yo, listen, you can't do that Lawrence Fishburne look on here. No.
No.
And expedition to leave now. You be bugging minute.
My mama wrote the
Bump your mama.
I know you stay.
On camera. Hey,
Sorry,
Mama Jones.
Sorry, Miss Eiffel. I appreciate all the deodorants and the soaps that you give me. You know what I mean? You are an excellent couponer, a great mother-in-law, and your daughter brought me to this point. She made me say these things.
Right, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But Jesus is Lord. What's up, everybody? This is Darius Cummings from Convrs8. I don't play no games. You think it's a game out here? We keep it real. What you trying to say, Brittnee?
You used to say Darius J. That's all I'm saying.
I said my real name.
Yeah.
Take these headphones off. I got too much energy. Boy, I had too much rest. I need to be. I'm used to coming in here sleeping.
The fish tacos did it for you?
Yeah, them fit that man. Let me tell you something.
Hey, man.
Daphne put both her feet all the way up to her knees in them fish tacos. And then whatever that slaw was, Daphne, you put on them fish tacos. Whatever that green stuff was, I can just stick my whole face in it.
You mean lettuce?
No, it wasn't.
It's a foreign object.
It was not.
Oh yeah.
It was not lettuce. It was
That's the only exception.
what was it, Shevon? Some kind of cilantro, sour cream paste, something. But you put it on fish tacos. You can even put it on turkey tacos. It'd be good, bro. You could actually put it on homeless people and then make them
What?
Yeah, he just getting ghetto talking about turkey tacos.
And then them turkey tacos, you good too. Yeah, turkey tacos, they were good. Wow.
Boy, talking about you sitting there mixing it, man. She paired it perfectly. And now you talking about crossbreeding these tacos.
No, see, you know what? It wasn't me. Shevon was the one that had turkey. She brought me some turkey tacos with the green stuff.
I did.
And so it wasn't me. I just ate what my wife brought me.
But in my defense, all the fish was gone. And
It
so
was gone. And I guarantee
husband-
everybody didn't eat their fish. You know what I mean? I seen some cheering playing over that fish.
Boy, don't you hate that?
Right.
Wait,
You
Go to a family function and the kid got a full plate.
and ain't gonna eat none of it. They ain't gonna do nothing but put diseases on it.
diseases. Die.
Diseases.
It's a whole die and disease in there.
So,
I feel it.
I can't believe you don't understand me by now.
I do. I get
What's up,
Oh
everyone?
snap! My face is like I ain't never not been from behind the microphone.
That's what I was telling you.
Exactly.
That's what I was telling you.
Oh snap! I look famous. What's up, everybody? This me, Darius J, coming live to you from the underground, which is Decatur. You know what I'm saying? Decatur, where it's greater.
I think I can.
We about to get started in a few minutes. You know what I mean? We just on here. I got to watch how I leave my face, cause when I'm not talking, my face look very confused.
It's
We will discover a new thing. He's like, you just look like you know the first time in your life.
Wow.
But them teeth blanking. Y'all see how white my teeth is?
I know.
That's cause I brush them
I'm quite
morning
disappointed.
and night. You know what I'm saying? Brush your teeth, and you'll be all right. Now, if you got cavities already, you might want to get them out your mouth, cause they're gonna make your breath smell.
That's
like
a humbling experience.
Yeah,
When you
that
get
go-
your first cavity.
Oh, man.
Man, I was 23 years old. I got my first one, and that was a humbling experience. I used to hear about it when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I went in there, and I'm just living my best life. And I went in there, and she humbled me.
Yeah, man.
She started drilling in my mouth. I'm like, man, you didn't even gotta do all this.
Especially when they give you that needle, and you be like, oh, that little needle in my gums. I'm like, why did that hurt so bad?
And I'm like, you can have the tooth if you really want
Right,
it.
I did let him take one of mine, because there was that dude wouldn't there play. I said, hey, you know what? I'm not in here to play games. It's in my mouth. Take it out. He was like, look, we can say the tooth. I don't want it no more.
Like, you about to charge a lot of money for
Exactly. I was
Just
like,
take the tooth.
just get this tooth out my mouth. It hurts. I had to deal with it all weekend because y'all didn't do weekend patients. You really need to look into doing that because you're losing a lot of money.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean? I need you
Talking
to
about
get this
start
tooth
talking
out
about
my mouth.
strategy.
You know what I
You
mean?
can build your business.
And then dude was like, but we can say the two. I said, man, if you say that to me one more time.
if you say it to me one more time, you gonna need safety.
Yeah, I'm gonna get all your fronts out. You know what I'm saying? But you know, that was before I was a Christian, guys.
Damn, you gonna get charged for the tooth and for them hands.
It matter. I'm gonna get charged. I will take my own tooth out by that time. It would hurt so bad. I was riding on. I was coming from work because I worked the whole time. You know what I mean? I was partially high and in pain because I was taking a bunch of pain medicine. And I was just in there and I was like, man, people calling me to fix their machines. I was like, yo, hey man, let me tell you something. My mouth hurt. If you can just live with two of your positions working, you'll make my day. You know what I mean? But on my way home, I had the AC on. It was wintertime, and I was still sweating. I was in so much pain.
You know what? Man, one of my guys used to be on my team, man. He called out one day talking about his tooth hurt. Like, he called me going off, just cursing, all that stuff. I'm like, I know you're not calling out for no toothache. I'm like, man, you're going to have to come in and drop this stuff, man. You're going to have to figure something out. He's like, I can't do it, man. I gotta go to Aspen to get this tooth. And I was talking all that yang. Like, I was going off about this. In fact, he called out about this tooth until my tooth started hurting. I said, I get it.
Bro, I'm telling you, that toothache, because I thought my mom was kidding about toothache, because I used to get real bad ear infections when I was a kid. And I was like, ain't nothing worse than an ear infection. Man, I got that toothache, man. I was mad at everybody. You know what I'm saying? People talk to me like, man, he normally be smiling and telling jokes. I was like, ain't nothing to smile about in here. You know what I'm saying? My mouth hurt. Don't ask me about the machine. I fix them when I fix them. You know what I'm saying? And if I don't get to yours today, this clock, I gotta go home.
That's one of them type pains. Like, once it's gone, you like, oh, you swear you're gonna do right.
Bruh.
I don't know what I did to maybe get this to this point, but I'm gonna do right afterwards.
When that dude when he took that tooth out, boy, I was so happy. I was like, ooh, thank you, Jesus.
I'm gonna count the cost of everything I put in my mouth from now on.
Exactly. Well, that's how you look on camera. You see how you look? Why you look better than me, man?
What?
Her skin shining red. I still look like I got that slave rust on me.
No slave rust.
I should have wore brighter colors or something, you know what I'm saying? You know.
You know for next week.
Huh?
You know for next week.
Who?
You know for next week.
Oh, guess what? Keegan's gonna be here next week.
That's right.
Hi, you guys.
I'm not doing this with you.
What up,
It's gonna
everybody? Hey,
be a long
man.
day.
I'm tired already.
Right now.
Hey, man.
I'm tired already. We ain't doing this thing good. I'm
Okay,
tired.
you ready?
All right, yeah, we
All right, man. Let's get started. We gonna start recording instantly, or we gonna wait?
We're gonna start recording.
We finna start recording.
Yeah,
We've been online for 12 minutes. So
Exactly.
You know what I mean? What up, Brianna? You know what I mean?
Hey, Bree.
Hey, man, tell your friends. Tell them to get on here. This
Yes.
is be the man episode.
Share.
Share.
We is what the young folks say, lit.
No.
You know what I mean?
You
I
say
ain't.
it?
Huh?
You should let the
I really
folks-
don't.
Share it
I don't
like
never say lit. I really don't.
What the young folks say?
Hey, I'm still stuck on off the chain. Yeah,
Hey,
No.
I feel you.
I'm still stuck off the chain.
I feel you.
That sounds good to me. I'm gonna do one little test to just make sure everybody keyed up on their mics.
One little test.
And yeah, I mean, then we're gonna go live. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we do a test.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
we
ain't
do it
live
too.
already?
No,
We
we live, but we
live.
can go live.
Facebook,
We ain't
the
record on podcast yet.
I'm about to say, what you been doing?
We just smoking
Let
it.
people roll in.
Hey, what up, everybody? This is Darius J.
And I'm Stevie Neil.
And this your girl Mella G.
Oh, Jamell Sowell.
Oh, Jamell Sowell.
I thought I was a guest. I thought I got introduced to
You
something.
did.
Shit.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah,
got
We get it.
Not hospitable at all. Oh, you just tested.
Yeah, we were just testing the microphone.
Ooh.
And I'm Stevie Neil.
And this your girl Mella G.
I'm Jamell Sowell.
At least he's up.
Yeah.
Alright, I ain't gonna get that close to it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, we finna go live all the way. We gonna do it.
Wow, bitch.
Wow. Rihanna.
Hey, stop laughing! I can't say it. I got to read my thing. Thank you,
I said
baby.
I'm tired already. We ain't in this thing good.
Hey, what group, man? I got like 30 group me's on this. Good God Almighty. And 75% of it's the path.
Man, group me
Mine's like
best
100%.
and worst inventions.
It is.
Because that's everybody go to.
Well, let's just create a group me and
All right, we're finna go live. Nobody want to hear you no more, Mella.
Okay. Watch.
Don't say that.
Don't.
Just say it for the air. Say them jokes for the air.
Say them jokes for the air.
She out balanced.
You got flame to the white meat when
She
this
said
thing comes.
albino.
You gotta flame him to the white meat when this thing comes.
All right. We finna go live. All right.
Or, yeah.
For real this
For the
time.
podcast, yeah.
5, 4, 3, 6, Mafia. All right, I'm done. For real this time, everybody. What up, everybody? This your boy Darius J.
And I'm Stevie Neil.
And this your girl Mella G.
And with special guests, Jamell.
What's your name?
So,
Wow.
And other special guests.
Hi, I'm Shevon. I'm Darius's wife. I'm Brittnee. I'm Stevie Neil's
Hey, man,
wife.
y'all acting weird. Hey, man, y'all act like y'all don't know how this show goes.
Is that the A?
Hey,
never seen
but
this
yeah,
show
for real
before.
Is
though.
that the A?
Huh? Nah, we ain't doing the 8th day.
Forget y'all then. I do my own.
Come on.
You know, it seems like the A is sticking to our show. But this is a show of variety where we talk about current events, past events, and things that may happen in the future. But our viewpoint, with our own viewpoint, and some special guests as well. We also like to get into the lives of people in the hustle and bustle of the things we call life.
Yes.
From white collar to no collar, believe it or not, regular people make the world go round.
We make the world go
That was nice. That was nice.
Yeah.
that was smooth.
So, you know how the show started out.
That's what we're about. We're Convrs8. This is
We're Convrs8, by the
Talking
way.
about
this.
You know what I mean? Y'all can check us out on Anchor.fm, Apple Podcasts,
Yes.
Google Podcasts, Spotify,
Yep.
just to name a few. You know what I mean?
9 different platforms.
Them all different platforms. We got a lot of platforms, but I'm just naming the big ones out there. Them the big fish that most people tune into.
Including Facebook Live, which we're on right now.
Oh yeah, and we on
do
Facebook
those.
Live.
Share
You
the
know what I
video.
mean? Share us. Get us
Share
around
that
in your
little curly
friends.
arrow. That
You know what I'm saying? It's a curve arrow.
not the straight one. That's the
Not
back
the straight
button.
one, that's
Don't get out of the page by
Exactly.
accident.
You know what I mean?
That's
And
bad for us.
don't report us. 'Cause if you report us, you a sucker. You know, I just want you to know that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's no way to do that accidentally.
We
You're just a hater.
got
You do
good,
that.
wholesome.
So you gotta put a reason why.
Exactly.
I know, I reported a few people.
But yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? About to get into this show.
Yes.
We're gonna start off with our guest. How you live, Shevon?
That's right. Ladies first.
Hey,
Ooh, hey.
Into the
How you
mic.
living?
can you hear me?
Huh? Yeah, I got you. Just talking to the mic.
How you living now?
How you living, baby?
I'm living. Just been working hard. I have projects that I need to get out. Things I need to get done before those projects come out. So yeah, not too much going on with me.
Except everything.
Right. Except everything, but you know what I mean. How you live, Brittnee Spears?
Oh, wow.
How you living, Miss Paterson?
I'm living well. This Saturday, yesterday, I was at work. I usually don't work on Saturdays, but I was there for 12 hours. I thought it was going to be 8. But yeah, my building is getting a new roof, and we had to shut down part of the street in front of our building and hoist the materials up to the roof, and that took a long time. So I was pretty tired when I got home, but I'm here. I'm happy.
Yeah.
All right. You know what I mean? So,
That's
well,
all
you
around,
know, we're
man.
going to go to our next special guest. How you live, Jamell Sowell?
Yeah, we gonna let that die today. I know I started it, but I'm having second guesses about it now. I'm feeling that. No, man, but I'm good, man. I've been on vacation all week. Yeah, man.
That's nice.
They still been blowing my phone up. I actually had to come back to work early, so that was not delightful. But in the meantime, man, catching up with a lot of old friends and stuff. Been able to work on my craft a little bit, write a little bit. Mella been helping me film one of my spoken word pieces, so I do that on the side, and it's been dope. So one of my pieces got accepted to Spotlight for Poets in Autumn. Some dope poets, Genetics, Ezekiel, Preston Perry, Joseph Solomon. Like, it's dope. So I get to Spotlight with them. I submitted it late, but they said it was good enough. They want me to come to Memphis to Spotlight there because they already filled Atlanta. So that's dope. So we were filming another video for that, man, and trying to get a better quality out there, so I can actually have something to show people.
Yeah. That's good. Now can you go on to Miss Mella G? How you living?
I'm living well. Today makes a week that I've been in school.
Yeah.
It's been amazing.
Have you passed the test yet?
There's no test that I've had to take. It's just a lot of writing right now.
Okay.
I'm taking a mastery course, and it's basically teaching me strategies to master life tasks, which is kind of interesting. I was talking to Jamell about it briefly. And one of the sections in the book, it was just talking about, like, it was this rebellion strategy and how when you move through life, there's different people in your life that tells you no. And I think me and Darius talked about this too, because it's like when we're told no so many times, it becomes our reality that we can't actually push forward and pursue the things that we want to pursue. And so just kind of looking at that strategy, and like I think the person that they used was Mozart, because it was just like a lot of things he had to push through, especially because his father wanted him to do a specific thing to provide income for the family, but that wasn't his true passion. He wanted to be a composer, not a performer. And so him making that decision to rebel against his dad's wishes caused him to become one of the greatest composers of his time. So yeah, it's really good. Like, I don't think it's just applicable to just the degree that I'm pursuing, but just in life in general. Like, the dreams that we have, we shouldn't allow people to help to make us create these false realities that we can't achieve the things that we're pursuing. But yeah, and then the show is releasing soon. I'm excited about that. We are looking for venues right now to have our launch watch party. And Keegan will be here next week so we can talk more in depth about it. So I'm very excited about that.
Come on, Keegan, through here. Come through about your life. Come on, keep it real, Stevie Neil.
All right. So it's been a great week. Just going back to work for, I think it's my first full week back, right? Since the New York trip and everything. But I'm on call, and it's been rough, man.
Ooh.
You know, those late night pages.
Yes,
And it's just this one thing. It's like this one page, and it goes off like every night at the same time. So it kind of breaks up my sleep a little bit. I was feeling like trash yesterday morning. Good thing I didn't have to work on Saturday. Oh, sorry.
Thanks a lot.
But that's been my week, man, and that's just interesting. I caught a little interesting tidbit because, you know, I have a lot of downtime with my job, you know, just looking at what the social media's got going on. And did you guys know, you guys played Duck Hunt growing up, right?
Yep.
Duck Hunt.
Duck Hunt. You know, with the bird.
The bird and the gun.
Yeah, you remember from Nintendo?
You know.
What's
No.
Well,
Okay. So yes.
Jamell ain't 30 nothing.
Yes, not. So
I was a kid. I was playing outside. I'm sorry.
So
We were playing outside too. That was a reward for us. You know what I mean? I ain't get to see my Nintendo.
That's a rainy day. That's a rainy day.
I didn't have a Nintendo till I was 10.
Oh, good God Almighty.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a Nintendo when I was
The Nintendo was on its way out when you got.
7. Absolutely. I got like the first American Nintendo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got like one of the first batch. You know what I mean?
I just recently got a Nintendo.
Anywho.
That's where I
I
bought a
had
Japan
Nintendo in
cartridge.
80 something.
But yes, so getting to that, I read up that first controller, of course, or the gun,
Right.
Yeah.
you're the hunter, but the second controller, you know, with the second controller, you control the duck.
Really?
You a lie.
No,
Are
I
you
am so serious.
This whole time.
This whole time.
The whole time, ain't I? you know what? I used to ask myself that when I was a kid. I used to be like, yo, I wonder, can we move the ducks with the second controller? But
so you
nothing
can
say
challenge.
ever to
To
plug
try
it in
to
to
do
try it. I just had the thought because I was like, I could just steer the ducks towards my shots.
So if you playing, hold on. So if you playing 2-player, one person's the hunter and the other person is the duck running away from.
So you can basically make it interesting. If you're that second player, you can make it really interesting.
make
Oh, so it's like Call of Duty on Nintendo.
Yeah, basically. That was like the
The
first
most
form
basic
of
form.
GoldenEye.
Wow.
You know, so I
Wow.
feel you.
But yes,
I'm
you can
very upset
control
about that.
this. Yeah, you control the duck with the second player. So I mean, I could have been either refining my skills by having somebody make it a little bit harder, or two, like you said, I could have been trolling. I could have having one controller turned turned sideways. Okay, there you go, boom.
I'd have been good.
High score.
Ooh, high
I'd
school.
have been
I would have never told my cousins or anything.
I'd have been sitting up there and I'd be like, pull!
Bet you can't beat my high score. Bet you can't beat my high score.
Exactly.
I never ain't
The control over there.
I ain't doing nothing. It ain't doing nothing.
But that's just a little tidbit for my week.
for you?
My feet. That's a little tidbit for y'all.
So what you got going on, Darius J?
Well, I ain't got too much nothing going on these days, man. You know, just been chilling, trying to gather my mind and try to think about what I'm gonna do. You know, in my life, I try to think forward. You know, and I try to. I really try to work on myself a lot. You know what I mean? Lately, I really try to sort myself out and see how I feel in different situations when things come up, whether they be good or bad, and see how I handle it and try my best to handle it the best I can. And really a lot about self-growth. You know what I mean? Like if you're not, I feel like if you are not, you know, really sitting down and challenging yourself and then just seeing, you know, what parts of your life is weak and what parts of your life, because it's like I feel like in your weakness, you know what I'm saying, you can be made strong. You know what I mean? And when you recognize those weaknesses and acknowledge them. So I've been trying hard on that. I've been journaling a lot lately, you know what I mean? And I just got asked to help write a piece, you know, with the Nexus Ministry and stuff like that. Excited about that because I ain't been really writing, you know, a lot. My wife has been challenging me to write. She said I should get back to journaling and doing my thing and writing my pieces. So that's one thing that I'm really trying to work on, and you know, really trying to get back out there and do it for real. You know what I mean? Like I haven't really just been out there like that no more. I haven't visited a coffee house or a Java monkey in so long. I forgot what the inside looked like. You know what I mean? So you know, just really getting back out there and you know, using my craft because I really been hiding behind just fear of getting back out there. You know, like sometimes when I get out of something for so long, and I want to be good at everything I do. I really struggle with perfection. Like Steve knows just from off back because when we failed, I was ready to go. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I'm finna pack my stuff and I'm ready to go. You know what I mean? I don't want to do it no more. I'm done. This idea is trash.
It took us like so long to get started, and then our first day where we were just like, we just got to get this done.
Yeah.
We put down a whole hour 9 of our first episode only for my sound not to come through.
Yeah.
And we were almost done. We were almost
feeding.
done right there.
Yeah.
We just had to put some pizza in our belly and
do
it again. We had to record a whole other episode.
Actually recorded 2 then, right?
Well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we did the movie thing.
Oh, that was the second time. That was the second
time.
week.
Yeah, that was
where we did 2 episodes in one
week.
week.
We was all more professionals.
That
man.
was...
And then y'all recruited me. Thank you,
But
guys.
you know what I mean?
Yes.
So, you know, just working on self-assessing and trying to be a better husband for my wife. She here with me today. She actually get to see what Darius Cummings is like off camera. I'm kind of the same.
Darius Cummings again?
Huh?
Yeah, no, he can.
And my wife here, man. I got to say my whole name. I got to let her know that it's a last name to her name.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It won't be Jones no more. You know what I'm saying? It's all the way Cummings.
Okay.
You even call her family Cummings. Like they ain't Joneses no more. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing Daddy Keith. Don't beat me up. Yeah, I mean. But yeah, man, I've been living, man. I feel like I'm living my best life. You know what I'm saying? Like I say to my wife a lot. You know what I mean? I feel like I woke up in a dream, man. I feel like I woke up in somebody else's life. You know what I mean? But It's mine. God gave it to me, and I spent it.
This is about to be really interesting.
I was about to break out a song.
But yeah, that's how I'm living, man. So, you know, Mella, you know what time it is. You conduct
We know what time it is. So, you guys, we know that this is a show that's based on these lovely people right here, getting into their lives, getting advice, because it's gonna help me. I worry about Jamell, but this is gonna help me.
Oh, it's gonna help me.
But Jamell has prepared majority of the questions.
Man, you ain't do nothing.
It's not even that. I did the trivia game.
Oh,
You did the Q&A.
Okay.
It's a teamwork
All
effort.
right. I just thought Jamell did all the work now.
He did all the work now. So, let's start it off. How long have you guys been married? Steve and Brittnee?
Oh, well, we have been married for 6 years.
6 years. Woo woo!
That's right.
Hey, man, make sure you talking to the mic good now.
That's right. Yeah, I gotta. I'm not used to
Say that with some confidence.
Yes.
You know what's so funny to me is that when the guy answers, he looking at his wife like,
Just for confirmation.
Making sure you got it right.
6 years, right?
That's 6, right?
Darius, Shevon?
I've been married 3 years.
Oh,
3
3 years,
August
okay.
29th. You know what I mean? Was one of the best days of my life, everybody. I stayed away from sex. And stuff like
I
that.
didn't ask all that.
You can't see it, but Shevon got a pencil under the table.
So,
Say this 3 years. I told you to say enthusiasm.
so let's tell the people who are watching and listening how you guys met from each of your perspectives.
I'm gonna let you go into
wow.
that story first because I ain't, my story is animated.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
I'm
Okay. So we're gonna start with the Cummings.
So we.
To the mic. I mean, you gotta have it all. You just lean up a little bit to come towards it.
I'm here.
All right. You go
Well, look
ahead.
at this functionality.
Go ahead.
We met at church.
What church?
So you're gonna be mean to me this whole time.
Y'all see? Hey, cut the camera off.
Larry's
Think I'm being mean, girl. I love you.
Aww.
I kiss you in your mouth meat.
later. Mella left.
Anyways.
But no, we met at church, at the path. Yeah, we would see each other and, we'd have some conversations. And I threatened his wife one time about some orange soda. He appreciated that,
I
Sure.
Kel Mitchell was proud.
I still want to go back and get that orange soda. But I was scared she was still in there.
That's how it all started. Okay.
And then we exchanged numbers. We started building a great friendship.
We exchanged numbers after that tie date that's supposed to happen that didn't happen.
Yeah, I was planning an activity. It didn't pop off the way it should have. We exchanged numbers.
Yeah, that's right.
He said he was going to be my biggest stalker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, for real? Okay.
Okay,
And,
directness.
I live on the edge, brother.
right.
Not imitative. That's just Darius J at his finest. But go ahead.
Yeah, and so a week later I didn't get stalked, so I had to text him to ask him about his stalking.
Wow.
Reverse psychology.
Right,
You
because
gonna own up to what you said?
Right, I told him he was doing
Hey.
a horrible job at stalking, and and so he said, "I'm in your bushes." I did check because he is crazy.
Just making sure you safe. Save me some of that rice.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So.
Oh, Myron over there.
There's a lot wrong with this story.
Yes.
Hey, I'm an untraditional.
Yeah, y'all went from orange soda, I'm gonna be your biggest stalker.
Right. Till I'm stalking you.
In the bushes.
In the bushes.
Again, not imitated.
So, anyways.
Yeah, and so we built our friendship. We started dating.
Yeah,
We
that's
dated
true.
for like a year, right? About a year or 2
No,
years.
we dated for almost 2
Yeah,
years.
well, yeah, almost 2 years.
Mhm.
Did we?
No, it was 2 years.
It was a year. When we started dating?
Ooh.
2013.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got married 2015.
Yeah, cause I was going through a lot.
Ooh,
Jesus
let me
wasn't
turn
through
the
with me yet.
camera up.
You still not.
Yeah, Jesus was... What y'all talking about?
I'm just like, I'm turning the camera a little bit. No, all right, back to you.
And yeah, so.
Yeah,
They dated for 2 years.
We dated for 2 years. You know what I mean?
And then we got married.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to marry her right away, but God still had to work on my soul.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
So what's your version,
In the mic.
Darius?
Whoa, that's great.
I know.
Hey, you see how I just took that and didn't feel bad about you saying that to me? Because I know you got my back.
Stop it.
So, the Darius Cummings version is,
Oh,
I was a ninja.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But we met at church, you know what I mean? Like, I used to see Shevon. I saw her. I think I noticed Shevon before she noticed me. Because I remember it had like a talent show and she sung a song. I think she sung a Lauryn Hill song.
Okay, Lord.
You know what I mean? And I was like, dang, she can sing. And she fine too. You know what I mean? And then, you know what I mean? Then somebody hit me and said, hey, brother, you struggling. I just acknowledged that she was fine. That's it. You know what I mean? I ain't out here trying to rape her or nothing. You know what I mean? I'm just keeping it real. That's the conversation. You know what I mean? But
It sounds like you was having a 5 heartbeats moment.
But I see her in passing. We'll talk. You know what I mean? And then once we had I think the church had started doing like North and South services, and we was at Regal Cinema 24 off Northeast Expressway.
Yeah.
And she approached me because I was singing then, and she wasn't singing then. You know what I'm saying? She was still struggling with being a heathen.
Oh wow.
What he means is not singing.
Good job, Steve.
Good answer.
But you know what I mean. But she approached me about to tie date me, and then I said everything she said. I was like, "Hey, girl, I'm gonna be your biggest stalker," and I walked away. I really didn't have that much conversation. I'm telling you, I threw it out there and I walked away. You know what I'm saying? And she had that little crazy look like, what? You know what I mean? But I was just like, I knew it landed where it needed to land. When I see the confused face, I know I hit the spot I need to hit.
Yeah.
And so I didn't stalk her at all. I had continued my life and started, working and doing things. Living my life, you know what I'm saying? And then one day I get a text and say, I thought you were going to be my biggest stalker. And I was just like, I'm outside, man, in the bushes. You know what I mean? And I believe she checked because she will.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wasn't there. I was like, nah, I'm in North Carolina. You know what I mean? And we didn't really talk a lot after that. You know what I mean? Like, we really didn't talk. And then after that, she threatened me about the soda. You know what I'm saying? And
The soda was before that we started talking.
you sure? No, we wasn't talking then. We wasn't talking a lot before we started talking.
And Darius, I thought that's what caught your eye.
Huh?
She threatened your life. You was like, ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, I like a good strong. I need a strong woman in my life.
Thought you like living on the edge?
It was when you couldn't drive anymore. That's why.
Yeah, I know, but
tried
so
to-
that was after that then. You know what I mean?
No, that was before. That was before we started talking.
This over something.
When I moved in with Brian them.
You moved in after because I was down the street from you guys. It was before because you was with your,
That may be true. But nah, man, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, I told you, I ain't. She got the timeline down. I just know the specific points that made a difference in my life.
Come on
You
now.
know what I mean? So, but we started talking. I remember she was coming from a wedding in Columbia, South Carolina. I think that's the first time we really actually talked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She was coming from a wedding in Columbia, South Carolina. I think I was coming from Sonora, Kentucky. I was supposed to have been at church, and I told the brother I was gonna be at church, and I was like, I supposed to been in the study that day, I think, and I ain't make it back. I was like, hey, brother, you gonna have to baptize that brother yourself. But you know, and we had a good long conversation. I think I talked all the way till I got back to the yard and dropped my truck off. You know what I mean? I think we talked all the way till she got back into Atlanta. Yeah. And you know, and I was telling her I thought, you know, when sisters got together, they just bake brownies, and you know.
He has a firm belief that when sisters get together, we make brownies.
Yeah, I thought they make brownies for brothers.
That's not what we do.
You know
Like if nothing else, just make brownies.
No, they talk about Jesus too, but they make brownies for brothers.
Jesus and brownies.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's a new social event coming soon.
So we you know, we talked, you know what I mean, and we started talking. I think we started talking every Thursday night. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, she impressed me. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't impress me, I don't like you in real life. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? But people that I consider friends and people that I put around me, they impress me. Every person that I big up and I talk to, they really have a special place in my heart. You know what I mean? Whether it be expressed always or all the time. And she impressed me. You know what I mean? And just because she was strong, because I didn't want no woman that was weak, because I didn't want no woman that I can beat down. You know what I mean? Like, because I wouldn't beat a woman down.
I'm waiting. We gotta wait. We gotta see what happens.
We gotta throw a sign up on that.
I mean, if you know what happens, if you know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about like I got an overbearing personality. You know what I mean? Like my personality is strong. You know what I mean? I ain't want nobody that I could beat down like with my personality and just
with your personality.
Yeah. I can't believe I got to explain this because people that is alive, they know I ain't talking about physically beating down because I ain't never hit a woman in my life. You know what I mean? But my sister, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
When we was kids.
I'm just letting the listeners know.
But you know what I mean? But yeah, she could stand up to me. I needed somebody that could stand up to me because I come from a family of overbearing, loud people, extreme people. You either live or you die.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So it ain't no in between. You know what I mean? So I got that kind of personality, and she ain't as loud as I am. And you know what I'm saying? She a quiet spirit, but you know what I'm saying? She very observant, and she know what's going on in the room. And she when you think you may have the upper hand on her, she is right around the corner to meet you. You know what I'm saying? She's like, oh yeah, I was just waiting on you. You know what I mean? You thought you was ahead of me, I was in front of you. And I needed somebody like that because you know what I mean? Like, you know, honestly, man, like, yeah, I just got an overbearing personality, man. Like I could take over people. Like, you know, and I don't seen that in like, you know, different relationships that I had before I met her. You know what I mean? And I was just like, I know why this didn't work. You know what I mean? And when I met her, I was like, oh, she meet pretty much the criteria that I thought, you know, that I feel like God was guiding me to in the relationship with a woman. You know what I mean?
With a woman.
With a woman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's our story.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Oh, it's her turn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Who wanna go first?
Well, I tell it first, and then you.
Hey, turn the mic towards you, Steve, and talk you to it.
Well, you know, I got the little celluloid, whatever you call it.
You put this camera on y'all because we gotta get these colors.
Okay. Yeah.
Stop it.
Gotta get these colors.
Okay, so my version of it is we met at work. So I was promoted manager at Phipps Plaza 14 back in summer of 2010. So that was like April or May or whatever. So I get transferred to that location as a manager, and I meet Britt. She was working part-time there. She was a concierge in Midtown full-time. And then this was like her little part-time job to see movies or something like that. She only worked like one day a week or whatever. You know what I mean? Just to get the movies. That was it. That was her sole purpose. No.
Yep.
Let me look at this sheet. When did I she coming in?
Exactly. So
can you come in every day?
You just get on the phone. Hey, we need people today.
Hey, call Brittnee.
Ain't nobody up there. We need people. We short staff. Can you come in?
Oh man, I hadn't thought about that. But anyway,
Gotta go after what you want.
so we met when she would be on the ticket taker station, and customer service is like right beside it. So you're pretty much stuck, kind of. You could either be silent or you can talk to somebody. So there she is. She had a nice, bubbly personality.
Oh, okay.
I would say. I said that a little too slow. I'm gonna call myself out on that one. Okay, all right.
I was like, oh my god.
So yeah, we got to just getting to know each other slowly as friends, because of course I was the manager. I couldn't date her.
Yeah,
That's a
could've
no.
flexed
Yeah,
They come in on that Harvey Weinstein tip.
Too soon. Way too soon, sir. Oh man. But anyway, so yeah, we got to know each other as friends. I was in a relationship at the time as well, so that was kind of stopping me as well. And she was coming off a relationship, as we discovered.
Away from them jigaboos.
That's exactly what it was.
So
He was a mess.
he was a mess. But
He just did over there,
Yeah.
fellow.
exactly.
She upgraded for sure.
Yeah, she did.
No more weak sauce over here.
I'm certain of it. So that was the main thing.
Colors on it.
Pop collar.
That's it.
So yeah, that was the key to it. I think is because we got to know each other for a few months at least as friends. Like it wasn't like a pursuit. Like I was trying to get her, over here, from the jump. You know what I mean? I got to really know. We talked about a lot of stuff. Even my dating chronicles, whatever. Because my girlfriend broke up with me in a very stupid way, and I was in my feelings about it. And I was telling her, I was just like, I'm about to be a player. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's what I'm saying. I'm about to be out here. I'm gonna be out here like Hakeem.
But that be the funniest mindset. Cause you never be that accurate with how you envision yourself being. I'm about to go out. I'm about to do what I want.
Nope. You never are.
And you be sitting in the house playing games.
Never live up to the hype.
Yeah. Never you live up to your own height.
Never. So, so she's taking that, and I'm taking in her situation with her ex or whatever. He's still hanging around trying to get back, and Britt's Britt's a G about hers, man.
G.
If she's done with you, she's done with you.
Done.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So, at first I was worried about it because, like, okay, this cat's coming up to the job or whatever, trying to get back in her good graces, and I'm just like, okay, what is she gonna do? But then when I saw she was resisting his advances, I was like, okay, all right,
I need
she's
her
about
in my
something.
life.
Oh, you collecting data?
Right.
Okay.
I was collecting data, yes.
I feel
Without even knowing it,
gosh.
But then it got to the point where I just wasn't going to stay at the theater anymore. It just was not a good professional fit. You know what I mean? So then I knew I was leaving.
Had to get them ditches.
So then, but then it didn't even start there. I got a tip. That, a certain someone was feeling me.
She won't mess up her work. Stevie Neil train.
You know it.
Hey,
Messi co-worker, matchmaker.
Exactly.
And he came in there with that safe zone.
Oh my.
Yeah, they were all bowling or whatever. I wasn't there, and then it was like, so you told somebody that you like me or whatever,
Yes.
and so they were a good friend of mine. So they were like,
They were intentional.
See, that's all. I always feel like that's intentional. I always feel like that's intentional to either move it along or move on. You know what I mean? Like, let me see what he feels. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, really? So again, I had been getting to know her. So I was like, this is legit. So somebody I vibe with, and she's feeling me. So let me hit her up on Facebook.
Ooh,
I hit her
slide
up
in
on
them
Facebook.
DMs.
He
He went
Yes.
in the DMs.
So the DMs work, okay.
No, this is 2010. It don't.
I gotta know that.
That was Black Panther, but still strong.
You already got the tip
I did.
that she was feeling you, and you took it to Facebook.
I did.
What made you not get the number? Like, all right, well, since she feeling me, why don't she feel me enough? You just go ahead and slide me her number. We can just go ahead and cut to the chase.
Well, because I wanted a little bit more information or whatever. And plus, I am a man. I can't just be like, hey, what's your number?
You could have.
Yes.
He could have pulled my number from the system if he wanted it.
Yeah, see, that was real stalker or whatever.
Like, Darius, I want
I got your number.
Look, she feeling me.
Coulda hit her
She
with
initiated this shit.
Exactly.
Let me go ahead and get this directory real quick.
You already know
Get this
you
number out
ready
the
to be
directory, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Anyway.
You could have just walked up to her and said, baby, what's your phone number?
And I would have walked away.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so you hit up on Facebook.
I did hit her on Facebook, and so we connected that way, and then we got the number there. Because I had to feel the vibe of the conversation. Because, confront her with that information. Like, hey, I got a tip from old girl, that you, like, this is a thing. Is this a thing? Oh, yes, it could be a thing. So then...
Alright, go ahead and finish your part. We're going to get to her.
So we set up a date or whatever. So we went on our first date or whatever, and it just went great. It went great. Great conversation, and of course it was sealed with a kiss. I kissed her on the first date. And, I don't usually do that.
But you couldn't get the number.
You gonna kiss on the first day, but you
You
gonna
can
get
dress
the
them
number.
down.
Hey, I just had to
them
feel
lips
it out.
first.
You know what I'm saying? And it was just interesting because it's just like each step of the way, it was like she proved out that this is somebody I could grow with. That is the main thing. It's just like, yeah, she was like 21 when I met her. Okay, so of course she had, grown to do, but like just the head on her shoulders, like each stage she was at in life, it's almost like she had a plan to get to the next phase. You know what I mean? She wasn't like, this is my situation forever. You know what I mean?
Come on.
And I wasn't used to that. I wasn't used to that at all.
Oh, you was out here dating chicken head.
Yeah, I was putting on, I was putting on my cape
It's okay.
daily, you know what I mean? And just trying to save people, and it's just, it gets exhausting.
It
Y'all
does.
both out here up there,
That's true.
Okay.
You can't say chicken heads. All you can do is make chicken nuggets.
We dropping nuggets today? No chicken?
That was kind of cold, man. I liked it.
But see, Brett, he went to Whole Foods for you because he
Yeah, that's
said,
right.
I'm
He
gonna
went
make a meal with this.
He went up and he got the seasonings
Selling
and
you.
prepared that chicken.
And he ain't talking about no saison.
No saison. He went in there and got the salts and the peppers, the
And
garlic
some
Buying
pepper,
these
some
individual
some
spices. All right,
paprikas.
all right, Britt, we ready for you.
All right,
Wow.
Yeah.
I need some validation on this side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Swivel that
Turn
mic.
it all the way to you, Britt.
Is that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
good.
it.
Okay.
Good.
Wow. Yeah, so we did meet at work. He's correct. It was my part-time job, so I wasn't there that often. I had another job in Midtown. I'm trying to think, is there anything that you missed? I mean, what he said was accurate. We used to talk a lot. I remember just saying to him all the time, like, you don't like me, do you? You don't like me. And
Just
he's like, what do you mean? Like,
no,
why are you saying
no reason
that?
at all.
Oh, that was good flirting
That's
right
the-
there.
Yeah.
She was letting you know the whole time.
But I
That
was
was
girlfriend at the
I
time.
think Britt was very direct.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like,
Britt knew
she
what
was
she
letting
wanted.
you know.
Britt, when did you know? Because
That's a good question.
Yeah, but that's what I was like, what did you know?
I often try to line it up myself,
Yeah.
the timeline.
Because it sounds like you had to coach him into this one. Like, I'm trying to get you to fuck
how
me.
long before he dove into them DMs was you like,
Oh
yeah,
my
I'm feeling old.
gosh.
I'm feeling old, dude.
I mean, it didn't take long because just in the conversation, I was like, oh, this guy's really cool. Like, he's cute, he's smart, he's funny. He's not. I don't know if I really had a type. Like, I've dated different types of guys, so it wasn't a thing of like, oh, he's my type. But I don't know. It wasn't that long. So we met in April, probably like maybe by June, July. I was like, okay,
We
yeah,
got it going.
I liked him.
Oh, okay. So you didn't wait a long time at all.
No.
Okay. What you decided.
So yeah, I mean, and I don't even remember when it was when we were out bowling, and yeah, she did ask me. And let me, this part I don't totally agree with. You said she was your good friend, but her cousin was your good friend.
Yeah, exactly. Her cousin.
So not her. I didn't realize that she would go back and tell him like the same
Well,
night, like minutes after I told
you
her.
knew not to be her friend. You was like, after she did that, like, you know what, you ain't my friend.
No, I mean, it's cool. Like, it wasn't mad or anything.
I mean,
Nah,
they
I
married
think
now,
Britt knew what
so-
she was doing.
They married now.
I'm gonna plug this right
like
here.
minutes after I told her, she pretty much told him. But yeah, he did have to find me on Facebook 'cause my name was not Brittnee on Facebook. So
Something else.
I'm
Yeah,
not sure
alias.
how he found me, but he did. Maybe
told you.
Mutual friends. Mutual friends.
But it's like, okay.
You know, I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
Well, we got a table full of stalkers. You got Darius letting it be known up front. You got Steven with the covert. I feel you.
Because you guys weren't disciples.
No, we were not.
When you were
Not
dating.
at all. We
hadn't been met for 2 years. This was 2 years out from when we were met. So.
Yeah, 2010. We were definitely heathens.
Yeah.
Out there in the streets, but yeah. So and then we, once he knew he was leaving, we started talking a little more, and no one, at least we didn't think that anyone around us knew at the job.
Because it was like a month period before I actually left and when I knew I was leaving. So
Yeah.
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 And then we
Statute of
officially,
limitations.
so yeah, the first date he was like, "Let's go to Olive Garden. It's over here on La Vista." So I'm like following him to Olive Garden.
Oh, you know it was popping back in
Because we
2010.
get there and there was no Olive Garden.
It was La Vista Road. They had closed it down. There was an Olive Garden there, but
I remember the one you talking about, yeah.
exactly.
Don't try to help him out.
I mean, I used to be on the Vista Road all the time.
She thought I was like dragging her somewhere.
That was just really, hey,
Suspect, you know.
Hey, thought you were
Hold up,
finna
hold
meet some sweater puppets.
I got this real cool thing.
So we ended up going
Not doing this
to
with you.
Red Lobster instead because it was
Yeah.
near the area we were in.
Okay.
Ew.
Hey.
Oh. Red Lobster was good.
What's
before
popping back in 2010,
Oh
man?
yeah, I'm about to say 2010 Red Lobster was good.
Go straight
you know
back
what
in
I mean?
2010.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
it was straight
you know,
back in 2010.
We had just discovered that as a people.
You
So
right.
so how long did y'all date before y'all got married?
We got married on
Exactly
our second.
2 years.
Yeah, we got married on our
Dang,
second
we was
date.
we were 2 days off from our exact date.
Oh, that's
So we got married the 29th. We started dating the 31st.
That's so
Yeah, that's,
cool.
We got
started dating
married.
the 31st, and we got
Yeah.
It was always
cool.
meant for
That's
us to
amazing.
meet.
That's right, Russ. Cheddar baked biscuits. Forever.
When they started selling in the grocery store, they messed up.
I know, right?
They
Yeah,
messed up
yeah.
bad.
That was the tipping point. That was the tipping point of quality. It was
But yeah,
just,
so that's pretty much.
Yeah,
That's
that's
the story.
good, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I keep finding out we got more and more in common.
yes,
Yeah,
married in
that's so
August,
Yeah.
July birthday.
Yeah.
So that means you gotta marry somebody in August. That's what
Yeah,
that
if
means.
you don't, if you don't, you are on probation.
First of all, I done been to these summer weddings, and they ain't popping like that. It's too hot, okay?
It is.
It's too hot to
Hey,
be in
but-
a suit in the summertime. You know, y'all want to be
But-
outside. Anyway,
Question.
So when did you know, like when did you know, like, okay, I want to marry this woman?
Whew.
That's a great-
I'm gonna tell you something, man, about me.
For every man.
I'm gonna tell you, for me, it didn't take long for me to know I was gonna marry Shevon. Like
Yeah.
when
Doesn't take
when
long.
somebody impressed me, I just know. I talked to Shevon, and I knew probably about 3 weeks in I wanted to marry her. I was just like, I want to marry the girl, man. This girl is
Yeah, we weren't.
is
even
really the one. Like, cause it's like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm like, I imprint people, man. I'm like an animal, you know what I mean? Like, if I like you and I get used to your smell, I'm just like, man, I gotta marry you now. You know, nobody else.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Because it really, nobody else existed outside of her for me. You know what I mean? I knew she was gonna be the one to help me to fight for my salvation always. You know, cause she been a disciple way longer than I have. You know what I mean? Like
Are you an
I
adult
was,
yet?
huh?
You an adult?
You 21 years, right?
21.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you 20. She been a disciple 21 years. You was a disciple 15 years when we met.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I was just 1 or 2. You know what I mean?
A taller out here.
You know what I mean? I was still peeing on myself. You know?
Can't even sleep in the bed by myself.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So,
Body trained out here in these
So, I knew, man, like, her, she just had it, you know what I mean? Like cause when I became a disciple, I was like, man, I ain't dating nobody, you know what I mean? I was just like, I don't want nobody but Jesus,
Okay, Paul.
you know what I mean? And like, brothers was like, oh man, you need to take sisters out. Like, man, I really don't care about all that stuff, man. Real, like, you know what I mean? It ain't that I feel like, I ain't feel no like, I just feel a real draw for her, man. I just had got out these streets, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, man, I'm just trying to get my life together, you know what I mean? But it just, lo and behold, I did a whole bunch of encouragement dates, you know what I'm saying? And after that, me and Shevon went on a lot of dates, you know what I'm saying? We both got love for movies, you know what I mean? And me and Shevon love the same things, you know what I'm saying, mostly, you know what I mean? I like to look at sad movies and cry a little bit sometimes.
I would have never guessed that. Okay.
But I knew pretty soon, man. Like it didn't take me long to know that she was the one for me. And it went, and I talked to my roommates, and I let them know, man. Like I was just like, man, I really like this girl, man. And they of course told me like, hey man, take it slow. Remember, you know what I mean. And you don't want to go too fast, too hot. You know what I mean. So. But I still knew, and I still had a lot of things to work through, and I think that's what took us so long to get married, you know what I mean? Like, cause I wanted to marry her, I was just like, dude, if I could find me a Cracker Jack ring, you know what I mean? But I still had a lot of growing to do, you know what I mean? And I thank God that He did let me go through that due process, because I had a lot to learn about myself, for as like my selfishness and stuff like that. I know I'm going a little too far, a little too deep, but once I start talking, I start talking. You know what I mean? And I know that makes sense, but anyway.
It did make sense.
So then, Shevon, with you being significantly older than him spiritually, like y'all know how it is, sometimes you done got, a little age on you. I'm only 3. Sometimes, I be getting frustrated with folks out the water. I'm like, man, you supposed to know this. But with you dating somebody, you're significantly spiritually older than him. Like, how did that work out?
I think, like, being in the faith as long as I have, I've seen people fake the funk in the faith. So, like, I've seen people who have been around for 10, 15, 20 years and then drop off the face of this earth because something happened. And I've seen people as younger Christians, they've grown and they've gone on to do great things. So I was never the type to look at somebody spiritually and say, oh, well, you need to be this much older in order to make an impact. I feel like anyone at any age can make an impact spiritually.
Yeah.
With Darius, I realized he grew quickly. So as soon as he saw there was stuff he needed to change, he changed it. Like, and he was always evolving. Like, he was never the type to see something and then be like, okay, I'm good. This is who I am, But he was always like, okay, I'm going to work on it. And he would work on it and he'd change it. And he'd be different from that thing. And that for me was like, okay, this is the person I want to be with. Also, he's real.
Yes.
I don't have to wonder if he's gonna be the same person if something was to happen. Like, he's who he is 24/7, regardless of the season, what's going on, if there's problems, if it's a great time. Like, I never had to worry about, oh, is he really who he is saying he is?
Yeah.
Because I watch a lot of people, especially spiritually, as you get older in the faith, it's very easy to fake it. It's easy to put on the act and do the things that Christians are supposed to do.
Yeah.
Right.
But actually be real about life, be real about what they need to work on. And that was Darius. And I appreciated that realness versus that, oh, I'm serving, I'm here, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And then the next day, you know, you on the corner somewhere doing something you shouldn't be doing. Like, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
You know.
That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. Because it's hard to, like, you know, sometimes it's hard to, like, see past, like, what's right in front of you to, like, really dig deep down to see, like, somebody's character. Because Darius ain't got no filter now. So I'm only imagining early on in his faith, and you and like to be able to see to be able to foresee the man that he is today, that he could be that. Like that's
Amen
crazy.
for Jesus.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus.
So Steve,
Yes, sir.
when did you know?
When did I know? I would say pretty quickly. I think 7 months into dating. But that's for a variety of reasons. Like, I've been engaged before when I was younger. So that step of life really wasn't scary for me. And just, you know, when I was expressing to her that I was going to be a player back before we started dating, that was out of frustration. I had, like, given up. I had given up, not all the way, because, of course, I didn't go there. But I really did want to be married. You know what I mean? So when I met somebody with, you know, their head on straight, that I can grow into, that I liked, you know, that liked me. And
Put your roots with their roots and make a big tree.
exactly, you know, build on something. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
So as soon as those qualities were met, I just had to know if she felt the same way. You just do.
Yeah.
And you get to that point as a man that you really have to know. So I hypothetically proposed 7 months in.
Okay.
And you know what? She kept it real with me. She said no. She said, if you ask me today, we can't get married today. You have some things to work on. You know what I mean? So
Strong women out here. You better get you one.
Now I mean, know. If this was the real thing,
yeah,
like if you really proposed,
yeah,
and she said no.
It's funny you say that because I always made a joke. a half joke, but it really wasn't a joke. Somebody says no to me, it's a breakup off top. Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, 'cause I need time. We can't just go on a date after that. You can't.
Hey, sitting in the car driving and looking at the road.
That's an awkward ride. That is an awkward ride.
No.
Really though?
Yeah.
Okay.
But so it's funny because I felt that in my spirit or whatever. But when she said that, it hurt me. But I knew it was true. I knew there were some things I had to work on. And I know I didn't want to just throw the whole girlfriend away. You know what I mean?
You want to throw the baby out with the bad water.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we took a break for about a week and a half. You know, like, because I needed time. I needed time to process that, what she was saying. And then after that, we got back together. We didn't really even break up. I mean, just like we finally talked on the phone again and whatnot. And, you know, she was cool, of course, because she had made the decision.
It's like,
She
I told you.
Cool,
You know?
but like,
But I was like, you know what?
It's needed.
I'm not gonna just throw the relationship out. You know, I want to try to mature in those areas, and we'll see where it goes. I didn't put a timeline on it. You know, let's just be together. You know what I mean? Let's just be together and grow. See some leaves change. You know what I mean? So yeah.
I'm perplexed. I gotta know.
Wait
So
a
like
minute,
when
Tway
you
said
say
a week and a half ain't no break. Y'all took a break.
Yeah. We did.
that's real.
That's real. That
I'm
is real.
perplexed right now because look,
Yeah.
so when you say hypothetically, like, was this like, you know, y'all chilling like, hey, you want to do this or what, or was you like down on one knee?
No.
Nah, it'll never be one
he
of
was
them.
like, if I were to ask you to marry me, what would you say? Something like that.
Because I had to know that bad, but I didn't want to do it for real. Because, you know, like I said, I met her at 21. She's 22 years old, and I know I'm like almost 28 at the time. So I want to scare her away. You know, like, she's young. She got, you know what I mean? She might just have been just doing this.
I don't want to talk to you no more old time.
Listen, the first thing that going through my mind is, ain't no way I'm gonna sit there and propose. I got my family. I got my mama out here. I'm down on
My
one
mama out
knee,
here.
and you gonna tell me no in front of my family? That's why we can't be together no more.
Yeah, so
I'm in my feelings.
That is why.
and funny you say it that way too, because when it was time to propose, so it was 8 months later that we were just together and growing, just together, and I was like, okay, this is the moment. I have to do this, and it was 2011. It was November at this point, so I was looking at Christmas. I was looking at Valentine's Day the next year. But I was just like, I can't wait that long. I just can't. I have to know now what she
Give
feels.
it to me, baby.
Exactly. So, I told like one of my closest friends that I was about to do it the week before I did it, and I told my mom. That's it. I didn't tell any other friends because they probably would leak it. And so I wanted to choose a random day. I decided that I didn't want to do it on a holiday. Because I didn't want that to influence the decision.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was my thinking or whatever.
That's exactly how I thought.
That's smart though.
Yeah.
So after getting out of class at Georgia State, her apartment was right up 85. So it didn't take long to get there. And so I just gathered up the courage. This was going to be the day. November 1st, 2011. So I get in there and I'm feeling real good. I'm like, okay, I'm about to ask her the most important question of my life, but I'm not sweating. I'm not, you know what I mean? Right when I step through the door, I'm sweating bullets and I'm stuttering and there's like,
over here to say something. And I'm gonna say it.
Exactly. So I get in there and she's cooking chili or whatever, and whipping us up a meal or whatever, and then I'm just like, you ever have to ask somebody something so important, but you just can't find a way to
and
say
I'm
it.
thinking he's about to break up with me.
Oh my God! She was finna get ready to hit you with the chili. Hey, you were finna be like Al Green out here tonight.
Yeah, I was like, he came to my place.
She was thinking in her mind, oh, he got me messed up.
He came to my place to break up with me. Like, this chili is about to be all over this dude.
You were finna get sauced.
Exactly. You were about to do time. You were going to do time.
I know people.
He wasn't even gonna bail you out. He gonna be giving you advice while you in there. Don't start nothing while you in there. You ain't got no chili to throw at nobody.
I'm putting money on your books.
You don't want to fight.
So okay. So I do get it out though. Like I get on one knee and that quells the whole situation. Because she already knows what that means.
It made it safe.
That made it safe. She's just like,
she put the spoon down.
she put the spoon down, and I asked without a ring though.
Yeah.
I did not get my money.
That's
together.
when you know she really loves you.
And she's just exact. She's just like, yes, whatever. There wasn't no like you need to get a ring first.
Come on.
Don't imitate
I
this
love
though.
that.
Hey, you do imitate it. You get you a woman that don't want no ring.
I don't wear rings now, so.
There you go, Mella.
Yeah. Nah, but don't listen to me because I got my wife. Ring.
I wouldn't even want to chase it.
No, don't do that.
I'll come with a ring pop before I come with
You coming with something?
I'll do like Count of Monte Cristo and tie a little string around your finger.
That real romantic did not have it.
romantic.
I was just like, hey, now
I can't afford nothing right now. But please believe.
You get one of those plastic strings you used to make in like
Exactly.
6th grade. You just braid them things into a ring and something.
Well,
But
Steve stepped out on total faith.
total fake.
Russell just said, stepped out on Facebook. He ain't lying.
Look where we
Boy.
are.
So
He
she
knew the type
said
of woman he
yes.
had.
Why?
She said yes.
She said yes, enthusiastically. So I got her a ring for Valentine's Day next year. So I got her a black diamond.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
I'll put a little zoom up.
Hey, you're gonna showcase
Get the right.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's there.
Yeah.
I was able to choose my own ring. So
That's right. Yes. A black diamond.
You know what? That's a thing. You know, cause
Yes.
my homegirl, she just got engaged. Her boyfriend told her he ain't throw it with a Wayne, but he told her he was gonna take her to go get her own ring. I said, gee, cry. I wonder what Shevon had. I don't think she would have.
I like surprises.
So,
Yes.
next question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, of course, we've all been in relationships prior to, right? Did you stay in contact with your exes?
When?
Come on,
Dating, when y'all married, like specifically dating. Let's start with dating.
I just started cutting people out. I ain't talk. You can ask Shevon. You can look at my phone because I ain't even have. Shevon was working my phone. I gave her the passcode and everything. I just like, hey, I ain't got nothing to hide. You know what I mean? So she just looking at my phone. I ain't talking about it, but her, my brother, and my mom. You know what I mean? Yeah, like I've been being real. Like I didn't really talk. And sometimes people call and I talk to them and I let them know what my life situation is. But most of the people that I know, they very respectful. You know what I'm saying? They good Southern people and they know what it means when you is in cahoots with somebody of the opposite sex and you trying to go the other direction.
Okay.
So
So it's a no for y'all.
Okay.
You were engaged before.
I was engaged before, and I had to cut that person off, and it was like coincidentally right before we started dating.
Oh. Okay.
But before we were dating, she was very much in my life as a friend or whatever. But it was just a very toxic situation. So she finally moved, and so that cleared the way for me to seriously date somebody. Because before it was really hard to date people with her still in the picture.
Oh man, she was a succubus.
I mean, yeah, she was just young. She was out there. She didn't have anybody here, so she went back home, and that was the best thing for her. But she didn't want to at first, but she did it.
Or Brittney was gonna box her eyes black.
And Brittney said, I ain't gotta say nothing. Show enough. That's what that face said. Show enough.
Y'all just having a conversation. She over here loading the gun.
Exactly. She over here saying clack, click, clack.
What'd you say?
But then on the line of that, what you said, like, is looking through phones a thing?
I mean, Shevon ain't never really looked through my phone, but you know what I mean? Because I don't never really look through her phone. I just don't. I trust her. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't care about looking through nobody's phone. I ain't that nosy. Because anything I need to find out, God gonna reveal it to me.
Come on now.
You know what I mean? Because that's something my mama told me a long time ago. She said, you stick around long enough, God will reveal everything that person need to show you. You know what I mean? In the end, it'll be up to you to make a choice. Whether you want to stay a fool or you want to cut yourself loose. And she didn't show me, give me no kind of inclinations that I needed to not trust her. You know what I mean? Like, I knew her pedigree, I knew her friends, Rhonda, I talked to her a couple times, she let me know exactly who she was, and then everything that I seen in her, and what she said, it all lined up, and Rhonda Farrell, you know what I mean, she pretty much bred my life before she talked to me.
Whole name? I mean, that's not her whole name, but go ahead.
Whole government.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And she just let me know, man. Like and everything everybody else said about her, I was like, oh, that's true. I seen that. I seen everything that everybody said about her. Just the consistency she seen in me, I seen it in her. So I ain't really have to. I don't care about the phone. If it's wrong, she'd say pick it up. And if mine wrong, I say, hey man, pick it up and answer it. I ain't close to it. Just pick it up.
I feel like if you have to put that much energy into something,
it's
not
especially that part.
Yeah,
especially that part.
Into something negative.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Yeah, if I got to watch you, and you ain't worth being around. Cause I know I can't trust you far enough to throw you if I gotta watch you.
And the thing is, from my perspective, not the engagement I was in, but I was in another relationship where I did look through a phone and I found something. And I just looked like, man, if I look that hard, I'm gonna find something that's
people always say
gonna twist me up a little bit, even if it ain't what it is. Exactly. So I just learned I had to be a little bit more trusting, the next time around. And she didn't give me any reason to be mistrustful, though. I mean, like the other relationship or whatever. So, so yeah, I agree on that one. I mean, so yeah.
Okay, so with y'all relationships being where they're at, are there moments where you feel like trust was violated? Of course, not in that way, but have there been like other moments in y'all marriages where you feel like trust is violated? And then how did you deal with that once it came up, if it did happen?
That is a great question. And I'll
let Shevon start on.
But I'll be upfront. I'll be transparent. I had violated the trust at times in the first 2 years or so, just with flirtation and whatever. Not necessarily with exes, but just people I knew. I was used to having a lot of female relationships, so and just being able to tap into that. I had to really grow in that area in our first two. The biggest fight we ever had was in our first year over something like that. Just some, pillow talking with her right there beside me. She saw it and she went off, but
dang, Britt.
I told you, it's always some sweet ones.
She can go on. She would do it again.
But yeah, like definitely there have been times like that, and the things that helped us through it the most was being able to call on somebody and say you better get your boy.
Thank God we were in the kingdom at that point.
Because if not, you're about to get
we wouldn't have been together, or I would have been dead.
You already know what's going on with the chili.
Exactly.
There's going to be some slow singing and fireworks.
Slow singing and fireworks.
Hope you got the life insurance, buddy.
I don't know. He said,
but
what happened to him?
Had to grow in that area for sure. Just see what it is. Just play the tape in that situation. Like, what is it worth? I got something right here.
Yeah, quick caller. Yeah, he said pillow talking right next to him. That's a bold
stupid. Yes,
stupid.
And I was like, before becoming a disciple, like I was very much okay. Well, I'm gonna get you back, type of thing. And I had to really fight that mentality and like, okay, how can I really handle the situation so that we can grow from this, learn from this, grow from this. And the only way to do that was to bring somebody else in because we couldn't do it on our own.
Right, because she was giving me the silent treatment or whatever. Yeah. I was getting frustrated with that because that's the worst thing you can do to me is like just not talk to me. I hate being shut out like that, and she knows it. So that was crazy. So we had to bring someone else in and just get some advice. And
I want to hold that thought about bringing somebody else in.
Yeah.
You said Shevon gonna speak for you.
I mean, she can speak on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So Darius was very flirtatious. Before he.
I knew exactly what you were talking about when you were talking about. It's like I'm the same way, But continue.
This is so weird, y'all. I said much the same.
Britt Jackson said you got them holding
hands. The same person. So yeah.
I don't know why I let Shevon talk. She about to embarrass me.
I was finna write on here. Why did I do this? But nah, man, keep it real.
Yeah, and so I think. Like, when we started dating, there was a situation where he was just very flirtatious, I think, with somebody else. And I just had a real conversation with him. I was just like, to me, that's disrespectful.
Yeah.
You have to be mindful. I'm here with you. Like, that isn't cool. And I just had very straight... What'd you write? When it's keeping it real gets wrong.
Stop it.
And so I had to just have a really real conversation with him in regards to that and just let him know, like, hey, this is, like, I trust you, but at the same time, this to me is disrespectful, and I just don't go for that. And he understood. I think it was just more so letting him know, like, to me, that's disrespect. And you know, he was very like after that he was very cognizant of it and very aware.
Yeah, I'm very well. When I learned where the line that I know not to cross it. I'm like a kid. If you tell me if you let me just go all over the line, do what I want to do, touch everything that I want to touch, I'm gonna do it. But once the hand get popped, I'm like, oh, can't do that no more. That ain't what we doing in this house. Alright.
Okay.
Take
my shoes off. Okay.
Exactly. So, you know,
okay.
That's the kind of person I was, like, you know what I mean? Because just like I was just like Stevie, man. I'm just
the deep side.
You know what I mean? I'm a very flirtatious person. I can't help it. God made me this way.
No, here we
you
go.
Know?
Look at it.
But you know what I mean? But I had to understand too. When she said that, I was like, I wouldn't let that happen to me. Like, you do that, you'll be eating dinner by yourself. You know what I'm saying? I don't got up. I'm like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Be right back. You know what I mean?
Not really.
But you know that too. You know what I mean? But somebody never did nothing like that to me. You know what I mean? She never. You know, she never tried me like that. She came in with respect. I feel like me as just being a man, not being out here on these streets, and you know, just living my life the way I want to live it. Because it's like I didn't pay attention to what, honestly, pre-discipleship. I ain't pay attention to what women say. They'll say, "Hey, you don't need to be like that." Like, hey, man, you can be quiet talking to me. I am who I am. You know what I mean? You knew who I was. How you think I got you? You know what I'm saying?
So there ain't been no points where your wives have broken y'all trust, or y'all still need somewhere to sleep tonight.
Oh no! It was like, he real, brother. Blake, if you need somewhere. But you know, nah. I mean, honestly, man, nah. I mean, I ain't had the time with Shevon and tried me like that. You know what I mean? Nah. So. It be all me. Shevon, she's a very respectful person, honestly. Like, I never had a time to where I was just like, dang, I wonder if she cheating on me. Nah, because, you know, everything in her pattern never said that, you know what I mean? And even though most people would be like, oh, man, you being a fool, that means she got you already. I had one of my cousins say that to me. You know what I'm saying? That means she got you already. You fine.
You always got the people in your corner.
Yeah,
just because they single, you know?
You know what I'm saying? They one person in the corner and say, throw in the towel. You know what I'm saying? Don't fight no more. Just throw in the towel. And I never had an inclination. And I mean, just like I tell people, I mean, I pay attention and I know who she is and I know when things change. You know what I mean? And,
yeah.
But for right now, nah. I mean, she never did anything to make me think she's tearing my trust to pieces.
And I used to have that philosophy as well. Like, I always felt like if a woman's cheating on you most of the time, she gonna take it to the grave. That was my personal philosophy.
I would know.
Compared to a man, we're sloppy with it. You know.
Come home smelling like you been at work all day. Why you smell like dove? You been at work all day. Why you come home smelling like dove?
Right. You just give yourself away walking through the kitchen.
Man, you'll be. I know, you know what I'm saying? You always see, like, you'll see a lady's new friend at her funeral or something. You know what I mean?
Like, who are you?
Hey, I tell you what, if Shevon died before me, I see a nigga crying just a heart y'all don't talk so much, man.
He getting in the casket with
I ain't even gonna play no games. He gonna be sitting there, my God. Don't put him in there with him. That's where he want to be at right now, anyway. You know what I'm saying? I shoot him there anytime. I'm really gonna let it's like, no, there is no. Put him in the ground with him.
Oh my God. Oh Lord. So back to the friends topic.
Yeah.
You know, the world tells us, you know, it ain't none of your friends' business. You know, i.e. genuine. So, is there ever a point where, you know, your friends are too involved in your relationship or they know too much about it?
I'd say there are points. Yes, I'd say so. You have to take advice really for what it is because, I mean, I didn't date in the kingdom or whatever, but I did find that sometimes when friends give you advice, see, they're in your corner. You know what I mean? So they're going to give the advice, like if she steps wrong in any way, then they're on your side and they're going to tell you to do something drastic. Now, in the kingdom, I don't know if it's a little different. You know what I mean? Because everybody's getting...
What did he put?
Oh, I ain't putting that. I just left it blank.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, so you have to take each advice with a grain of salt. Like, you know, if you're seeking advice from somebody who's dated and is now married, then that's a whole nother perspective. And somebody who's still dating, that's another perspective. Somebody who's single, that's another perspective. And I'd say now that I'm in the kingdom, if I was in that situation, I get advice and then I go to God. You know what I mean? Just really, what can I take? What can I handle? What does God prepare me to do in this moment if I'm like confused about something or whatever? And really try to approach it from that angle. Of course, you have your feelings. Your feelings are your feelings. So you have to take that into account. They're real.
I think there's something really real about what you said because I think a lot of times people will get advice and don't go to God.
And just don't.
Like they'll just take the advice as is
and run
like,
with it.
Well, so and so said da 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 da, and so this is what we gonna do. No, what did you go talk to God about, and what are y'all gonna do to leave this relationship?
Right.
So I think that's really good.
I think too you have to consider like, okay, why am I taking this thing? Why am I taking this thing to someone else? Like. What is the motivation behind the conversation I'm about to have? Not everything needs to be shared.
Yeah.
But the things that are being shared, why? Is it because I need help with it? Is it because I don't understand where to go from here? Is it because I'm trying to help that person? I think looking at it that way too. Because they don't need to know every single thing going on. But if there are major things happening, like I said, that you need help with, or if they're going through something and you've gone through it, then you can share with them how you work through it.
Well, I feel like this.
Oh God.
So dramatic.
Well.
I feel like this. I feel like you have to. I don't feel like in the kingdom, you know, because I met Shevon in the kingdom, and so I don't feel like your friends can be too much into your business. I feel like if it weren't for my friends, you know what I mean? Like we had some arguments that, you know, most people don't come back from, you know what I mean? And if it wasn't for my friends being in my business, the thing about it, what I feel like in the kingdom, my good friends, they were always neutral. Yeah. Because first, they'll hear me get to her and talk about her and make it seem like it was all her fault, but they'll be like, but we know you. What did you do? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? They didn't never just say, yeah, hate Shevon. You know what I'm saying? They was just like, all right, I hear that. But we also know you. What did you do? Right. You know what I'm saying? What did you say? You know what I mean? Because you got to have real friends. Because just like I tell you, you don't go tell everything. You trust your trusted few. Yep. You don't go tell your business to everybody. You go to your real friends. You know what I'm saying? And let them hear you. And they'll be a perfect sounding board, and they will let you know, like, okay, if you said this, you were wrong. Yeah. Because even just like my brother, you know what I'm saying, and just like Brian and Kevin and JK, I always went and talked to them. And if it got real bad, Jesus. You know what I mean? Like, if it was above their pay grade, you know what I'm saying? Because you got your friends that's on your level, and it may be way above their pay grade because spiritually they was strong enough, but they weren't in a relationship on its way to marriage and stuff like that. So I had to go above them and go to get some older brothers. Like, you know what I mean? Your contemporaries ain't always your best sounding board. You know what I mean? So you have to go get somebody that is way ahead of you. You know what I mean? You got to go ahead of the game. You know what I mean? So once I talk to them, they'll do the same thing. Like, what did you say? I heard everything she said and how you may feel and how you may exaggerate what she said. But what did you say and how do you respond? And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, you know, if I'm being honest, you know what I mean?
I
I might have started this whole thing.
And I want to
Might
add
have
something.
been my-
And I want to add something to what Britt said about just the motivation behind the conversation. Is like, are you bringing this to somebody you trust to help the other person too? Because I mean, that's part of it. You know, like something's going on and you're just like, what should I do? Or this person might be, you know, stepping wrong, not doing what they know they're supposed to do in this relationship. I need some brothers to talk to him, or I need some sisters to talk to her. Are you just are you just mad, or are you really trying to help the other person as well?
Yeah.
You know, do you want to rectify the situation, or are you just mad?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, if I had the tools of the kingdom when dating, I mean, I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
You know?
I
So,
think,
go ahead.
yeah. I think also like it like Darius was saying, like it depends. You know who your friends are, know who the people you're getting advice from. Make sure they know you guys, not only separately but together.
Yeah.
Like what are the two of you guys dynamic? Like even when we were dating, we had a married couple counsel us. Like we would meet with them. Like
Oh yeah, Mella was there. Yeah, Mella was there most of the time.
Mella was there. You know.
I was dating this time. Yeah.
And you know, it would be something consistently we did, you know, to just say, hey, this is what's going on, this is what we've been talking about. And I feel like it led to us having a stronger relationship and having somebody to bounce those ideas and what we're saying and what we're talking about. Like there were times when I'd feel like, oh, I'm in the right. Like I'm right about this. This is yes. And my friends would be like, well, no, I think you're overreacting. I'm like, what you mean? What you doing right What you mean? You know? And so having somebody to give you a healthy perspective on, okay, this is great, but you know, you might have overreacted in that sense, or you may have said the wrong thing at the wrong time. You might have wanted to wait. And then praying about it, like praying about what you've gotten advice about, figuring out how to apply it for you guys, because you could get advice about to do something, but if it's not meant, like if that isn't you guys' dynamic, you have to be able to say, okay, well, how would this work for us versus, okay, do this. Like, I used to date a guy and he got advice to encourage me, and you know, so he bought me a teddy bear, and he was like, well, I was told to buy you a teddy bear or something to encourage you, and I was like, yeah, but I'm not into teddy bears. Like you could, there's a whole bunch of things you could have done, and
it wasn't that.
Right, and no.
That brother, that's why he ain't married now.
Whoa,
That's why he ain't married to my wife. That's why he ain't married.
That's why you didn't win the prize, that young man.
Okay,
So
I came to play for keeps.
now, all right. So in terms of in y'all relationships, boundaries. What kind of boundaries did y'all set, and what happened if they were violated?
Don't look this way.
Well, I struggled with boundaries at first, you know, because I didn't believe in them. I just didn't think lines need to be drawn in the sand. That was some of that worldly thinking, you know what I mean? But it got to the point where, you know what I'm saying, we had to, you know, I had to acknowledge that, you know what I mean, I am very attracted to Shevon, so I have to, you know what I mean, she got to meet me at my place, you know what I'm saying, drop a car off at my place to go on a date, you know what I mean, and because she lived alone, I lived with brothers, you know what I mean, and it was somebody always at my house, you know what I mean, so making sure, you know, just to, you know what I mean, making sure, you know what I'm saying, just to, you know, phone time, you know, we didn't really talk that late because I always had to go to sleep. So, you know what I mean? It was just no struggle. It was phone time was no struggle for me. You know what I mean? Like, but, you know, just acknowledging like, yo, I need to go home. We need to separate from each other. nighttime ain't the time. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Not for me. You know what I mean? Because that's when the devil play hard in my life. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, just recognizing that and recognizing my telltale signs. And there's some things I still struggle with and I had to talk to Convrs8 about because it was just, man, Shevon fine. You know what I mean? So,
You know,
I just,
nuances.
you know what I mean? So I just had to get advice, you know what I'm saying, on keep my paws to myself.
Your paws.
You know what I'm saying? And all that stuff like that, just to be real, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, you know what I mean? Because I ain't finna go out here and tell people like, man, it was super easy for me. I just stayed away from it and held on to my Bible real tight. You know what I'm saying? Nah, man, I struggle, you know what I'm saying? Because most of the time when you pick somebody, you ain't picking nobody that you ain't attracted to.
Right.
You know what I mean? So recognizing your recognize your weakness. If you don't, you're bound to fail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I say that the boundaries you need to set is upon your weaknesses of the opposite sex. If you don't do it, you're done for.
What about you, Shevon?
Yeah, so because so one of the things, realizing like me being spiritually older and him not being that long in the faith, he was like, I'd be like, all right, here's the boundaries, and he was like, what boundaries? What are you talking about?
What is boundaries?
And so it was all like, so for him it was just like, what are you talking about? We can't, what? And so I think he eventually understood like this, you know,
I can go to hell.
we can take both with right.
Take both of us to hell.
Let's not do that, you know. And so like I had to, because I think there's a taboo about sisters taking the lead in certain areas.
Yeah.
And I had to. He's writing on his board again.
Okay, yeah.
I had to take the lead in that area because it was something I was more aware of than he was.
Come on, say that again.
And you know, it wasn't anything like, you know, there wasn't any like, oh my gosh, I need him to lead this way. Like he didn't know, and I couldn't expect him to be, you know, like to know it because it wasn't something he ever did.
Right.
I didn't know nothing.
Also the thing with boundaries, what I realized is that they always evolve.
Mm-hmm.
So the boundaries we set when we started dating changed 3 months in.
Yeah.
And then after 3 months, they changed again.
Yeah.
And then they changed again.
Mm-hmm.
Because as you get closer to one another, you start noticing that, oh man, now we're holding hands and this has me feeling some sort of way. Yeah. Whereas the first, 3 months, she was good. Let's hold hands all the time.
Hold hands, right. Walk around and talk, and holding hands started making me feel something.
And like one of the things,
my bones.
One of the things, and I think like also from the world's perspective, like people, when you say, well, what, you can't hold hands? What, he can't come to your house and pick you up?
You can't get them cheeks right off the bat?
Right.
You can't take the car for a test drive?
But that's legit.
That's legit. That's legit though, because like I used to be talking to my cousin a lot of the time. You know what I mean? He'd be like, "So you ain't trying to get the inside?" I was like, nah, man, like that ain't what you supposed to do, man. Go to hell, man. You know? Casually saying. But you know what I'm saying? Like that in the coolest way possible.
When you go to hell, man.
You know what I mean? But I have to live in extremes. If I don't live in extremes, I will struggle hard. Because if I find the easy way out, I am a loophole finder. Right. So you have to seal tight for me. Because if it's a crease, I was like, I can get through that. You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing. Like, I knew, you know what I'm saying? Honestly, like, man, like, I had to develop boundaries. I had to read the book Boundaries. And I had to, learn to respect her because she want to go to heaven. And it's my job to help her get to heaven. You know what I mean? Like, I got to lead her to Jesus, daily. You know what I mean? Whether it's a struggle. And just like, I apologize for the time I did make a struggle. Because it was not my intention.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, me going into my carnal fits, you know what I'm saying, wanting the flesh and all that stuff like that, man, I can't tell brothers that I didn't struggle. I knew I struggled. You know what I mean? And it was up to me to let her know that I'm struggling. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's just like we didn't go on dates that night because I was just like, hey man, I'm like a werewolf. If I go outside and the moon out, it's over. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like, all right, chill.
Anyway.
But you know what I mean? It's just It's just like being honest with yourself. You know what I mean? And knowing boundaries. You know what I mean? Try to go on group dates and stuff like that, even though a lot of people always fail through. I'm talking about so much I got discouraged about group dates. I was like, why can't you never get your life together on time when I told you the time? You know what I mean?
Lord.
We discussed this 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, but just knowing that, you know what I mean, and just having those boundaries and, just loving each other through, you know what I mean? And just but loving God through.
So with you guys, I know that you guys weren't dating when you were disciples, but you guys were studying the Bible while you were engaged. So how did those boundaries change as you were learning more about God?
Well, I would say that, first of all, I want to give kudos to the people that we met. If you ever think that your life isn't impacting others, well, you're wrong. Because I would say that the people that we met and just hearing about how they dated on their way to getting married or being engaged inspired us to, not only study the Word, but take up their example. Because while we were studying the Bible, we tried our hand at being celibate too.
And we were living together.
We were living together, and you're like, you know what? They didn't even kiss before they got married because this, that, and whatever, and they dated this way. So we tried our hand at celibacy. We were so inspired by the people that we met. So number one, but our boundaries did change, of course. Because what we were learning about our carnal natures, about our appetites or whatever, to the point where it just got to a point where we couldn't live together anymore. We were still engaged, but we just couldn't live together anymore. It was becoming unbearable. We were switching from the couch to the bed because we had like a twin. Oh, whatever.
It was a full.
A full. It felt like a
That's
test.
a grown
Yeah. Real close quarters, you know what I mean? So, but we were alternating, and it was still tough. It was just tough. You just know the other person.
That heat is in the other room.
The heat is in the other room, you know what I mean? And, we had, of course, we had and of course, we had been there before, so that makes it even tougher.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, it got to a point where a brother challenged me in one of the studies, like, what are you going to do about this, man? You know what it says about, about this. If you're not married, you need to not be in that space to struggle.
You gotta be homeless.
I mean, shoot, it hit me. It hit me that way because I was just like, I don't know where I'm gonna go. Because brothers I was studying with were already married, and the guy that wasn't had 5 roommates. You know what I mean?
You should have looked this up, man.
I knew
we had temporary. We had a rotating couch rotation. We had brothers living with us in interim.
Oh wow! Well, I would have just got in where I fitted.
We had a huge apartment
set up in the closet or something. I don't know.
Actually, Kev and them closet was big enough to do that. Kev and them closet was a bedroom.
So it got to that point, and when I was challenged, I was just like, no, I ain't got nowhere to go. Like, I can't just, and we were paying, I was chipping in the rent with her and her brother. We were living there until we could get our own place after their lease was up. So, but hearing a sermon about John 15 and the vine, like being pruned. Yeah. So that means in order to blossom better than you are, it's going to hurt first.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, you know what? Let me stop being a baby about this. Let me see what I can do. Let me just make the calls. Yeah. And if I don't solve it, then I just, I
gotta eat out of the trash can.
I gotta work it out. So I called my dad, and because he rents property, or he did at the time. So I was just like, well, you know what? I'm trying to show Britt that God is the most important thing in our marriage. And, you know, I'm trying to, until we get married, and I didn't even give him a date. We didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, I need a place to stay. You know, because, you know, I'm trying to do this right. That's what I said.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, I got a place. I got a room. A room is empty. And I was like, okay, how much is it going to be? Because I know my dad doesn't do those kind of favors for family. Like that. He's been burned in the past.
Son or not.
Exactly. He's been burned. But he was just like, you know what? I'm so inspired by you saying that, and you putting God first in this. You can stay there. You can stay there as long as you want, as long as you need to, before you get married.
Come on.
He didn't even know the date. I didn't give him a date.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Come on.
So.
Well, you were full of mustard seeds, bro.
Because it was like, what else was I gonna do?
That conviction right there.
Even then, like when he moved out, and of course we were still together. So if we were together, it was like, okay, past 9.
Yeah, I
we
had to
we
go.
gotta be separate, because you know that's, of course, like Darius said, when it gets later, that's the struggle time.
Yeah.
So just understanding like what each of us needed in order to be successful in our purity, we had to be honest and vocal about that.
And again, when you've been there, it's real difficult. It's like, you know
what home is.
Exactly, you know. And especially like this has been my home for months, and now I gotta leave. So those were our boundaries.
He's dead serious.
Yeah.
So those were our boundaries. You know, our last few months of dating. We got baptized August 7th of that year, and we got married August 31st.
Come on now,
So-
waste no time.
Come on.
So yeah.
That joker say, I'm tired of living out here.
So that was our story, but that was our boundaries while we were studying / dating while we were studying.
But that was good that y'all picked it up, you know what I mean, when you were studying, because a lot of people wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? I'm being honest.
Right.
A lot of people put off being baptized, you know what I'm saying, just to live the life that they want to live without, you know what I'm saying, without feeling the weight of the consequence, you know what I mean? So that's good, man. Like, you know what I mean? Big ups to that. That's a big shout out.
I just wanted to show her that God was important. Like,
You know what I'm talking about, man. I tried to show Shevon God was important too, man, you know.
All right. My final question. So, a little gear switch a little bit. At what point in y'all's relationships did the topic of sex come up? As far as you talking about it? Usually in relationships, one person is more experienced than the other. Yeah. Was that a conversation? How did that conversation go? Like, did y'all feel the need to talk about past stuff? Like, all that?
Well, that's a good part of the question for all of us. Well,
y'all going first?
What was those 3 smacks?
I was gathering my thoughts.
Okay.
We gonna suck that tooth.
I mean, honestly, man, like when I met Shevon, I'm an open book. One thing I knew that when I found the one, I was like, you finna get all of me like John Legend. You know what I mean?
Was that song even out?
I just used him as a reference, a point of reference right now. It went out there then. It came out like after we got married. But, you know what I mean? But, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was very open and honest with Shevon because, you know, we was of adults. We were both over 30, you know what I mean? And I pretty much just told her, because I wanted her to know that, like, the flirtation side that she figured out I had. I was out here, man. You know what I mean? Like, and I wanted her to know not to scare her, but just, you know, if she gonna be the person I'm with, she gonna have to help me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I wasn't saying it just to scare her off, and I was so glad that she took it that, hey, he ain't trying to scare me out. He just trying to make sure I know who he is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, you know, and I like, you know, sex, you know what I mean? I just wasn't talking about, girl, you know, I want to suck your toes and stuff like that. Nah, I wasn't talking like that. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? But, you know,
Boy. You can't take yourself seriously.
But you know what I mean. I think we didn't really get into that stuff like that until we like got engaged. Because you know, when we got closer to our wedding date, we started to discuss those things. You know what I mean? What our expectations was and stuff like that. But like doing dating, nah, man, that just ain't. You know what I mean? Cause I ain't talking about like, you know what I mean? I went out there like that. I just kind of like gave her reference points to where I was in life, you know what I mean? And like, and just like I was more experienced than she was, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, she gave me what she told me what she told me, you know what I mean? And I told her what I told her, and we knew what we were going forward. But it was up to me to like make sure, you know, when we got married that she was enough. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Because it's like, trust me, man, like, those talks ain't easy to have, and you don't want to have them because it wasn't like me just digging up my whole past and dumping on her and stuff like that. But, you know what I mean? But if it come up, answer truthfully. You know what I mean? Don't play around with it, you know what I mean? Because if you do, it's going to come back to burn you, I promise you. You know what I mean? So if those questions get asked now, I tell people now, if you go in there and you ain't confident, don't dig that hole. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to have to lay in it. You know what I mean? So if you ain't confident enough to hear what come after that, just shut your mouth and pray to God.
Shut your mouth and pray.
Shut your mouth and pray, because you know, like I tell people, man, everybody can't handle stuff like that. And men, we ego monsters, boy. You know what I mean? So if a sister was to tell you she was more experienced than you probably dig your grave and pull the dirt over you. You know what I'm saying?
Pull the dirt.
Well, lay me down. But me, just like me, I didn't care. You know what I'm saying? I didn't care what she told me, honestly, because she had told me she was. I was like, hey, man, when we get married, that mean good for me.
I mean, that's real. Shevon.
I think like just like there is, like you said, he's a very open book, and so like, you know, he made it known that I have a past, like I have a serious past. And
drugs.
Get out.
Put this man away.
Right. And you know, it, like for me, it sort of was like it was good for me because he wasn't trying to keep anything a secret, and he wasn't trying to keep a certain image. He let me know who he was up front. And so, and like just his past up front. And even for me, like letting him know my past, I feel like when you're older, because when we were dating, I was about 34, 35.
How old was I?
You was
31. All right.
Yeah.
Alright.
And so during those times, it's, you know, like you have to have those real conversations. And it was just more so like in dating, we mentioned our past, we mentioned the things that may have hurt us, that may have, you know, given us fears or whatever. But in regards to us and our expectations and what we were expecting, that didn't happen until engagement.
No, you don't
after we were advised to have those conversations.
That's what I meant, people. Now I know you people be out here probably think I'm a heathen and stuff, but I wasn't talking to her like, hey girl, I like to put on bunny slippers and stuff like that. I'm doing that.
We need to put this man away.
Jesus,
so you know, we went to marriage counseling.
10 weeks.
Yes, it was 10 weeks
Boy,
of
you
marriage.
sound like you was serving time.
I'm gonna tell you, man, because it's like, honestly, man, marriage counseling, all stuff, the kingdom stuff was a struggle for me because I am grown. I've been living on my own for a very long time.
My own bills.
You know, I pay my own bills. I buy my own food. You know what I'm saying? Now I my own clothes. So, you know what I mean? Or somebody, Suleen, she iron my clothes too. She work at the clinic.
I know.
But but that's what I'm saying. Like I struggle with all that stuff at first. Cause anytime someone introduces that, I'm like, for what? I'm wrong. I don't need nobody to tell me how to get married. They probably don't know how to be married anyway.
Stop it. Stop.
You know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean. And honestly, I'm glad I did because it some more stuff I need to work on, man. And Jesus Christ, like I tell people, man, if you don't do marriage counseling, you is selling your life short.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you have to have it, man. Like that stuff is. People take marriage lightly, yo. Like in this day and age, this is the reason why a lot of people get divorced quick, because they think about the Walt Disney version of marriage, and they don't really think that, like, yo, this is a life process. It ain't instant gratification. Once you get married, you're gonna forever have the spontaneous combustion in your mind and heart that you had when you first met them. It don't work like that. Right. You know what I mean? Everything is a process that's worth having. You ain't never went nowhere and didn't have to work for it that you didn't love. You know what I mean? Anything you work for, you love. You know what I mean? Because just like some people may hate their job they work for, but you love that paycheck every time you get it. You know what I mean? So that's why I tell people, man, you work for what you love. And if you love your wife, you know what I mean? If you love yourself, you're going to work for it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I learned that everything take work. 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and however long I live before I die. You know what I mean? But everything is a process. You know what I mean? So.
Before y'all answer the question, I also just want to add to, like, because I know that you probably already were kind of like in sexual relations before. Yeah. You know, no, not really. No.
What?
No, y'all
He was.
Okay.
Oh, prior to dating?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But just even when you were studying the Bible, like, how was your mindset renewed about sex and it being something from God?
I mean, yeah, I just really got in tune with how powerful sex is, and just, well, first of all, like you said, it is a gift from God to be enjoyed between two married people, to bring them together to procreate and such.
And such.
So yeah, I mean, you hit the nail right on the head. That's what I got out of studying, is that sex exists, yes, and sex is natural, yes, and it's not in and of itself evil.
No.
So it's truly a gift from God to be enjoyed between married people.
Yeah.
What about you, Britt? You got anything?
Yeah. So of course, as far as the sex talk, even, though we weren't disciples, we had it pretty much right away. Because again, like, I was not experienced and he was, and so him kind of giving me his history.
I had to have that talk. Yeah.
And and especially when we started talking about getting married.
Boy.
When we were talking about getting married, I had a real fear of the fact that, because I hadn't had sex with anyone, I didn't want to get to the point in marriage where I'm like, okay, what else is out there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Why that would have scared me, Jesus?
So that was a real fear. Even before, like I said, before becoming disciples, I remember just asking God, like, if he's the one, I don't want to desire anyone else. But so during
got some good wives.
Come on now.
During marriage counseling, we were actually doing marriage counseling while we were studying the Bible.
Yeah.
That's good.
Boy, y'all was immersed.
Listen, because they got married 3 weeks.
Yeah. That was a crazy thing to do.
So, but there are some real questions asked about your past, and you have to be honest about, if you had diseases, if you have a disease, if you, just your experiences and anything, like Darius said, that could come up later on, like, just lay it out there. But definitely, like, the time to do that, you have to know when, and I think marriage counseling was the greatest time to do it.
Yes.
But as far as the way that I viewed sex, I think both of us were, and I don't want to say too much, but I think we were both selfish in our sex life before understanding it from the point of view of the Bible. It's like, okay, this is the way that I'm serving my husband, and that we're serving one another, and also glorifying God because we're doing it with one another as a married couple. Yeah. So, like, understanding it that
husband and wife.
Yeah, understanding it as something that is beautiful and it is a gift, like, not taking it lightly, not just throwing it around.
That's right. You don't be out here in these street sheets. Come home to your wife's sheets.
Boy.
I do want to ask one more question. Do you guys like ever struggle with like comparison, like from things that you've experienced? Because I feel like when you have sex with someone, there's like a emotional soul tie that's created. Ooh. And I think a lot of times, even too, like for me, the things that, I mean, because sexual immorality was like one of my biggest struggles. Like just studying the Bible, still is. Have to be on guard about my purity every single day.
That's right.
But with that, with that, I think for me too, because like I desire to be married as well, and I know that these conversations are going to be had. And these experiences are going to happen, but I feel like I just don't want to find myself comparing to what I've experienced to what God has given me, and viewing God as sex as a gift from God, and not as I viewed it as before, which was solution based. Because I was molested at a very young age, so I think it was taken from me, so I went on and abused it in my pattern of relationships. With the guys that I found myself with. So I think like even just renewing my mind in that and not using it as like a solution and not talking and dealing with things, like I'm actually starting to talk and deal with these, learning that I do have more to offer, but I still desire God's best for me when it comes to my husband, and I want to make sure that, like she referred to, that I'm serving him in that way, that he's serving me, and I'm not like putting someone else in the equation that I've experienced before.
I think I had similar experiences. And what I learned, especially in my singleness, was to deal with those things, like to write about it, to pray about it, to really just deal with the emotions of all of that, because there's so many emotions involved, especially when it comes to sex, both from men and women. And so when you get a complete different concept of what it means, you have to relearn just what that base is. I feel like because I did that with me and Darius, there wasn't nothing to compare. It was just like, this is our own unique experience together. We're gonna figure this out together. This is us. And it wasn't like I didn't have any insecurities about, he had this many in the past, and this was my situation, this is his situation. I just looked at it as, this is our unique situation, and this is, because I'm married to him, I can be free with him. And I can be myself. I can be relaxed. I can, there isn't that pressure or that fear or that guilt or, oh my gosh, I feel real guilty. Man, should we do this? Should we not do that? Because even before I became a Christian, I didn't know anything about Christ. I didn't know anything about God. I didn't know anything about the Bible or even what it meant to be a Christian.
Nor the heathen.
And so, like, I would get into relationships and they would be sexual, but I'd always feel bad. And it wasn't because somebody told me I should feel bad. It was literally, I just didn't feel like it was the ideal situation. And so when you get married, when you have crisis bases, when you've dealt with all of the emotional baggage that comes with the past, when you get into a relationship, it's like it's brand new. Like it never happened. Like you're starting off fresh. And with whoever you marry, it's gonna be a different experience altogether. You know?
Well,
yeah.
I guess I'll say something. It's the same thing for me, man. Like I ain't carry nothing over until, my marriage with me, because it's like most of that stuff, man, I prayed about it not happening. And I made sure it didn't happen, because like I told Shevon, I was just like, I'm not coming into this marriage with like with expectations. I feel like that'll be unfair. You know what I mean? Because if you come in, telling like, yo, I expect this, I expect this, I expect that, I feel like you're selling yourself short on an experience. You know what I mean? Because I'm good at blanking out my mind, because just like a lot of times, the reason why Shevon can win an argument with me is because I forget. You know what I'm saying? Because I just
I'll be what I ate for breakfast.
yeah, I mean, like, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I just literally throw things away. You know what I'm saying? I give it back to God, man, and I just try my best to, you know, I try my best going into this marriage. I just want to desire her. You know what I mean? I don't want to be thinking about, you know, Josephine Biscuit Head or nothing like that. You know what I mean? I just want it to be all about Shevon.
Biscuit heads.
You know what I mean?
No.
So, you know, I really worked on myself. You know what I'm saying? That's why I tell people all the time, man, I really believe, like, man, if you got to work on yourself with God, man. You got to get your advice. You got to really seek your best self in Jesus, man. Because if you don't, man, you're going to sell yourself short when you go into relationships with people. You're going to end up drawing too much out of them or not drawing enough. You know what I mean? And the thing of it is, you got to be willing to give exactly what you're expecting. Because if you out here asking somebody to reach for the moon, you better be on top of that joint waiting on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But don't ask nobody to climb a mountain that you ain't dare climb. So, you know what I mean? So, don't go into your relationships with expectations. Don't go in there thinking about what somebody else did for you, because she ain't that somebody else. She Shevon. You know what I mean? And I expected Shevon to treat me like Shevon treat me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just erased all them expectations, man. Like, what good do it do anybody to go in a relationship comparing them to somebody else? That means you still got a soul tied to somebody else.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? That still mean you out here riding your last relationship. That means you should really, to me, that just tell me, like, you don't need to be in a relationship.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and if I hear somebody, if Shevon had said that to me, I was like, well, sister, that sounds good.
You might want to go for it.
It ain't.
It seems to me that you lost yourself somewhere along this path. You may want to go backtrack with Jesus with a flashlight and go pick yourself up.
Then I look back.
But that's how I feel, man, because honestly, man, it just don't do good. You know what I mean? Like, it just don't do good comparing. If you walk through life with a book of comparisons, man, you don't never gain the things that you should.
Yeah.
So.
Steve, Britt.
All right, well, I had kind of a unique advantage in a sense that, you know, she hadn't been with anybody else. So,
Fresh cheeks.
that's my wife.
I know, that's what I said.
Him no.
Steven trying to come across this table. That's my wife, man.
Hey, man, that's what I'm talking about. He went and got the first edition. She got Superman Volume 1.
But on my side of it, I've been with 4 other people. And I tell you, that soul tie thing is real.
It is.
And it's something, I think, even after getting into the water and after making Jesus Lord, it's something you have to manage.
Yeah.
It's something you're going to have to manage. You know, there are times where I think on these people, I had this tie with them. They are a part of me.
Yeah.
And some of them, you know, there was like love for them. I loved them.
I thought I did.
You know what I mean? Some I didn't, right? Some it was just a thing, but so yeah, that is something very real that as a man you have to manage.
Yes, sir.
You know, and just really not bring that into your relationship. And so that advantage I was speaking on where, you know, she hadn't been with anybody else, that helped me, like, it's at least me personally, that kind of reset it for me. You know what I mean? It was just like, okay, this is going to be a whole new thing for her. She's not comparing me to anybody else. So, I mean, I that's not an imitatable thing, but that was just what I processed personally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just like, well, I can't bring anything else into it, you know, because she ain't, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
So yeah, so that was just my whole situation as far as getting into that.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's up with kids, man?
Cheer 'em.
What's up with it? What's up with the kiddos?
You make them when you make them.
Right.
Make them when you make them. When God put the yeast in the bread and it start rising, that's when you know it's time.
There you go.
Man, y'all funny, man. I appreciate this, man. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you know, I'm
Good,
glad.
some good
I think I
tidbits.
found a little cutie pie with whom I want to be, and you know, this has been helpful, real
You
informative.
don't found
Okay.
you a little piece of bread.
A lot of different perspectives. That's been real
Piece of
helpful.
A little piece of-
Guys, that's somebody's daughter,
This
Darius.
joke.
So what now?
It's someone's daughter.
Hey man, we know that. She came from somebody.
Came from somebody.
She is slice of bread from the
Say
loaf
what
of
now?
bread.
The slice.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Work
bread
for
work
babies
everything.
and
You can make
yeast, yeah.
sandwich. You can make some
Talking about
sandwiches with
things
bread. You can dip bread in soup.
You know, and
And this ain't going the way I wanted it.
that's what I mean. It really can't go no other way right now. You know, you done dug yourself a hole.
Stop helping me dig this hole.
You might as well get to talking about a ham sandwich now.
Hey man, you put 2 pieces in there.
Okay.
Shy said, wow.
But yes.
I'm sorry, guys. You
Well,
know
thank
what
you
I'm saying?
guys for being vulnerable and open and honest about your relationship.
We keep it real.
You always do. I enjoy our conversations that we have. I've known Darius and Shevon my whole discipleship. And I've recently started connecting with Britt and Steve. And I learned so much from you guys. Just being open with my life, asking hard questions.
You gotta
Being
have
open
them.
about so much and being put in my places at the same time. But you know, it's helpful because you know I can get ahead of myself, and there's a lot of things I've experienced in my past, and I just want to do things God's way. Because I almost settled, you know. In a relationship.
Don't you settle, because if you settle, I promise you, I'm gonna check his chin.
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't got this hard in a minute.
But I am striving hard not to do that because
Don't.
my parents did, and they've told me about it. They're open, so
Yeah,
you know, and I don't want to have that same thing.
Yeah.
You know? So
that's what it's all about.
I
man.
want what God has for me.
Yes.
You gonna
He's
get
out there
it.
somewhere.
You gonna go get your blessing.
I'm here.
But sometimes you gotta go get that blessing like Britt.
Yeah. You know
Oh my God.
I learned so much today. I'm telling you.
You gotta go plant that seed.
You don't like me, huh?
You gotta have your little
Do we know together or not?
You don't like me, huh?
You know, go ahead. You know, get your little.
Look, I've been talking to you. I'm talking to you 30 days straight. Is
Exactly.
you talking or
Why
not?
did Rashad put an emoji?
I'm telling you. I'm gonna go give you this little 20. Go ahead and let the man know I like him.
You know what?
But that's what I'm saying, man. Like, and I honestly, man,
Yes, baby.
like honestly, man, for real though, like honestly,
Yeah.
man, like you just, you
Yes,
never truly know what's out there for you until you go get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because just like a lot of things that me and I feel like a lot of things me and Shevon experienced, you know what I'm saying, with one another. You know what I mean? All these trials, all these tribulations and stuff like that, it culminated into a beautiful thing for us. I just like, you know, I ain't the easy person to live with. You know what I mean? I sometimes run my mouth too much, too hard and fast. You know what I mean? And you know, but the thing of it is, when you got the right person, man, like they don't fault you for being who you are,
Yeah.
but they do help you realize when you are wrong. You know what I'm saying? Or going in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because even if I tell Shevon I'm straight, she know when I'm not. You know what I mean? She'll just look at me like, all right, man, well. And then I get a phone call from Chris.
Hey, Chris, talk to your boy.
Talk to your friend.
Please.
And then I get a phone call from Chris, and then I was like, what's up? Mom must have told you I'm struggling.
Yeah, you know, I figured
Yeah,
she
you know.
didn't. I just ain't feel like talking to her.
I mean, but you know what I mean, and like I said, that's go back to our friends. I'm glad that we have the friends that we have in our life, because if you don't got your wise counsel, you won't survive this trip. You know what I'm saying? These waters is tumultuous. You know what I'm saying? So you
Tough waters.
Tough waters. So you know what I mean. So you gotta have somebody to help you navigate them, man, because you can't always see what's in front of you. You know what I mean? I appreciate y'all asking these hard questions, because these is And
Great question.
a lot of people would have came in here and just asked them little baby food questions.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying?
Not when you're dealing with Jamell.
And I would have threw them out. I was like, you can leave because you ain't even old enough to sit around me. You know what I'm saying? So, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate y'all seeking. I appreciate y'all seeking real knowledge, man, because a lot of people don't ask them questions, man. And a lot of people just sit there and they try to they seek the Walt Disney in life.
Well, they may not have no vested interest,
Yeah, that's true.
But I do. I got no.
Well.
Yeah.
Well, that was it for this portion.
6 years, 3 years. Okay,
yeah. But hey, all you young people out there, if y'all want to talk to us, you can reach out to us on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? You can find me and Stevie Neil. You can sit around with me and my wife, and we will help you through this thing we call life. You know what I mean?
And his wife, you can't really see it, but see her skin on her face is very clear. and the reason being is because she make these smoothies.
That's true.
And she make the nasty ones, according to Darius. She make the good ones and the nasty ones that really hit your soul, that really make you feel good inside,
You just gonna drop the mic on that?
I'm telling you, man. I went over there one time. I thought it tasted good. But he was sitting there telling Coach and her, talking about, you got to put the good stuff in it because you give him all that green stuff, he ain't going to like. I liked it at whatever way she made it. But it was really good. And I noticed,
Rashad said, how young is young?
We'll get to his questions in a minute after I get through talking.
Just saying, the smoothies be on point. She put me on. That's why her skin, looking almost, translucent right now.
As you see, I drink bad smoothies. My skin don't look like that. I be out here putting honey and everything.
I mean, you ahead of the curve.
Yeah, I'm ingesting.
But right now, she invented the curve. Look, makeup. She just got it.
I didn't know what half the stuff was Shevon gave me when we first got married. She gave me some quinoa. I thought it was ants. She gave me some red quinoa. I said, hey man, what are these ants and meat?
I'm not doing this.
And you can tell what stuff Darius cooking and what she cooking.
Oh yeah,
but it's a good balance.
Yeah, it's a good balance. I'm coming to hit you with all the greatness. You know what I mean? And then she hit you with some greens and some. I ain't even know what lentils was. I was just used to eating beans. You know what I'm saying? Pork and beans. Black eyed peas.
When she made them barbecue lentils that day, I was like, I never heard no barbecue. One, I didn't know what lentils was. Two, I didn't know you could barbecue them.
Change the game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, you know what I mean? Like, I tell you know what I mean? Like, Shevon don't change my life. You know what I mean? I lost a couple pounds messing around with Shevon.
I left the house with a different perspective on life. I could do this health thing. I might be able to make it.
Yeah, so, it was good having y'all, man. I appreciate having you on, Jamell Sowell. You know what I mean? Look forward to seeing your many ventures on this poetic stage.
Yeah, man. It's going to be dope.
Hope I get to see him in Memphis if Shevon give me some money to go somewhere.
Hey, man, man, we supposed to write something, man. Armani told me you could write, man.
I used to dibble and dabble in these writing streets, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and Armani was boosting you up, man. I was like, oh, snap.
Yeah, exactly. Armani make me feel like I can conquer the world, you know what I'm saying? But, I've been working on that, and I've been working on getting back in my writing, because something kind of discouraged me a long time ago. I had like a thick notebook of poems, and somebody stole it.
Yeah.
That just broke my heart. I was like, I ain't writing no more. I quit. You know what I mean? But, man, we gonna do this big thing.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna get on the stage with you one day.
Hey, that'd be lit. Yeah. I'm here for that.
Yeah.
You gotta use lit for that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna turn it up.
It'd be off the chain and it'd be lit, but see,
it'd be off lit.
That ain't it. No.
That didn't work the way I thought it would work.
Hey,
we ain't holding out on you, damn. It's Shevon holding out on you.
Really?
Stop it.
I got you, Jasmine.
Yes, yeah. I cook some good General Tso tofu.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? If you ever seen my pictures, it look just as good as it is.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? It tastes better than Chinese baby. Any Su Lee, Jet Lee, all of them come see me in the kitchen. I cook your food better than you do.
Right.
I don't know, bro. You might not be seeing me on that grill.
Audio.
Man, I can't wait to get this. Boy,
sign
I got to cook. I'm gonna give it to you like this now, Jamell. You cook on the grill now. That joker had you biting your fingers off.
Stop it.
You know what I mean?
That man grabbed that meat right off the grill.
I did grab it straight out. He did some kind of orange juice marinade that I just blow my mind. You know what I mean? So he fine too. You know what I mean? So we're gonna have a barbecue cook-off. One day we all have put together a brothers barbecue cook-off. Those that can really cook now. If you can't cook now, just don't come out there. Cause you
I've seen some brothers serving raw chicken at cook-off. You gotta. You know,
chicken ain't for everybody to grill.
Right.
That's an advanced.
But I mean, if you can't cook no chicken, you
come
don't
on,
be near no grill.
Zoe and Jay.
Come on over.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah. So stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane. If all you know how to do boil some hot dogs, you boil them hot dogs well.
Oh.
Like Wanda, you know, you do the broccoli.
Stop.
Okay.
Well, listen.
Add
Well,
water.
listen. That made my day watching that.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you.
She opened herself right up for that. The moment she said broccoli, you gotta say something about souffle or
I
something.
was like, broccoli, they love your broccoli.
And then got mad when you got roasted. Come on.
That let me know you can't cook in real life. You said broccoli. Your children love your broccoli? Get out of here. I would have.
Your children must be being nice then.
I would have hired a gorilla to come in there and beat up like Yeah. Any final thoughts, guys? Any final
We'll
thoughts?
be closing this off.
Yeah, because we are 2 hours and 9 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
We had so much fun.
Yeah, we had fun. I'm glad I enjoy having you on here with me for you to see that I ain't out here just playing in these streets. You know what I mean? I'm out here recording good, high quality entertainment. You know what I'm saying? For the masses. I get a little raunchy. I say some pretty explicit things, but all in the confines of
Cause
Jesus.
boy, I'm gonna laugh myself to sleep thinking about that funeral. I'm laughing myself to sleep thinking about that funeral.
But you know, like, yeah, go ahead. Final thoughts, Stevie Neil.
Man, anybody else have a final thought? Come back.
Final thoughts, wife of Neil.
Oh,
Wife or new?
Don't be out here in these streets.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
Final thoughts, Mella G.
Wait for God's best. Don't settle for less.
Everybody turn around now. I'm gonna get somebody to drop me a hot 8. Any final thoughts, Mr. Jamell?
Yeah, man. My little shot at Christian, I got some good content for you. Good conversation coming because this was awesome. And man, be vulnerable in these relationships, man. And the biggest part was when y'all talked about these friendships.
Yeah.
You know, I see people like, you know, in my life right now that are like just consistent. You know, the Quays, the Jazzes, like they're just consistent with like knowing what's going on with all aspects of my life.
Yeah.
And seeing how that carries on to y'all marriages has been dope.
Yeah.
But y'all convicted me with y'all. I was like, talking about I'm gonna move out.
Yeah.
I know we ain't got long left, but no, we gonna do it right for whatever time we got left.
Yeah,
That was
I
crazy.
ain't even know that, and that took me to another place.
Like by any means, by any means with these relationships to like love God. That's man, that was dope.
Yeah. Any final thoughts, wife of Mr. Cummings?
Right.
She doesn't have a name.
Right.
Any final thoughts, Shevon L. Cummings?
Okay.
Oh, there we go. Whole government. Yeah, like I think it's great just to talk to people about their own experiences. You never know who's had similar experiences. You never know if people have gone through what you've gone through.
Yeah.
And it's great to hear the stories, to hear the experiences, to not only encourage one another, but also to, be able to get advice and get the help to make sure you're in a better place, and like, I thank you guys for the questions. They were awesome.
Yeah.
Really in depth. And like, I loved hearing you, the Paterson, you guys' story. But yeah, I just, talk to as many people as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any final thoughts, Darius? Yes.
Throw the whole
My final thought is definitely seek out, you know what I'm saying, your kingdom relationships, you know what I mean? Because you're definitely going to need them through all the steps that you take in life, you know what I mean? Just even from just being single to dating to marriage, you know what I'm saying, if that's what you seek, you know what I mean? But to honestly just have them, and all for the married people that have been married a while, whether you've been married, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, share your experiences with these single people, you know what I mean? Share the way you got there, and don't give them the cookie cutter stuff, you know what I mean? Because cookie cutter don't help nobody, you know, it don't help nobody but cookie dough.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
Oh my God.
And, just be transparent, you know what I'm saying? Because even just like hearing the stories and just hearing me and Shevon talk about the things that we grew past, it just gave me a warm feeling inside and let me know that, you know what I mean, the best is yet to come.
Yeah.
We out here, man. Like, if y'all know us and see us in fellowship, man, talk to us. And I challenge single people to talk to the married people, because that's something that the church been trying to promote anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, one another relationships, build them. You know what I mean? And don't be afraid to have those talk with the people you love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And don't be afraid of getting your life convicted, because conviction will bring you to repentance. And when you repent, you know what I'm saying, you feel better.
Yeah.
You grow from it. You know what I'm saying? So don't be afraid of the criticism. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid of change. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're not trying to evolve as a person, you're not going to make it in this walk with God. Because things change. You know what I'm saying? All the time. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to stay complacent, you will miss the bus. You know what I mean? So grow. You know what I mean?
All right.
Well, everybody, this is you got it. You back.
Yeah.
You got something, everybody.
Yes. Circle back around to me. I would say that marriage is a tremendous gift from God.
It is.
It's just that. It is a gift. It is something that God blesses you with, but I would encourage everybody, whether you're married or not, to really find your best self within your convictions.
Come on.
And really build the best possible you that God has in store for you.
Right.
Because I don't think marriage really elevates anyone spiritually per se.
It don't.
And it's a temptation to really think that, because the people who are older get married, and so then it's just like, oh well, marriage is a part of it, right? That's how I grow spiritually.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that is the case. It can grow you because of what it entails, but I feel like you can be a hero in the faith whether you're married or not. You know what I mean? By chasing that conviction that Darius was talking about, and really letting that grow your actions, your mind, your spirit. So you are a hero in the faith whether you're married or not. Never think you're less than just because you're without one blessing among several. You know what I mean? Because that's what it is. It's a blessing among several. Not to discount it. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
At the end of the day. But it does not complete you.
Yeah.
It
Be
does not
ready
complete
for it.
you. Yeah, be ready for it, but it does not complete you.
It does
It
not.
is just a piece. It's just something you're blessed with in
something
order to
Yeah, wait till the camera go.
further your witness
Do it.
to the world. So yes, that is my final thoughts.
Yeah.
So now we can sign
Awesome.
off.
I want to say one more thing.
Knew it.
You know what I mean? I'm sorry.
Well,
man,
go ahead.
That let me know something. Like what you're saying, like it don't elevate you. You know what I mean? And like people think marriage will save them. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Come on.
People actually think marriage is like, oh, my sexual immorality will go away once I get married. No, sir. It will be amplified.
No, that's
you know what I'm saying? That's just like pouring gas on fire. You know what I mean? Like, so don't. That's why I say, man, get yourself sorted out before you
Yourself-sorted.
graft yourself to another person in life.
Uh-huh.
It ain't 50-50. It's going to be 100-100. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
So you coming in as a whole, she coming in as a whole, and y'all bringing that whole together.
Yeah.
So don't come in there on 50% because honestly, it ain't up to that person to save you.
It's not.
Jesus will save you. You know what I mean?
Woo.
Your spouse, that ain't just spouse's job to save you.
Not at all.
You know what I mean? Jesus will save you.
Yeah.
Don't come in there bringing your problems and thinking your wife or your husband is failing you because they're not saving you.
Yeah.
You ask Jesus to save you in the waters of baptism. And it's up to you to seek Jesus to continue to get the help that you need. And if you ain't doing that, that's your fail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, do your due diligence, women and men.
Yes.
Amen.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, everybody, it was another super cut of, which I knew it was because it was more than just us.
Right.
You know what I mean? I knew it was going to be this long, but I hope that y'all understand where we're coming from, and we really wanted to put ourselves out there to let y'all know that we ain't out here just playing games and speaking. We walk it like we talk it. You know what I mean? And
So you ready to break out of something?
I felt someone. I felt somebody.
So you know, we want to just let y'all see another part of our lives. You know what I'm saying? Because our wives are a big part of our lives, and we wanted to put information out. And I'm glad for the guests that we had, and Jamell, and Mella. She always here. She work here. So, you know what I mean? I'm glad that they asked those questions with an open heart because they weren't just asking them. You know what I'm saying? Just to be asking, but it helps when people ask questions that they really want to know stuff about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we're glad to have that, and we're glad to put that out there to you guys, all you conversators all over the world. I'm glad to be able to put this content out to you. I'm glad that we are all able to just give our lives, you know what I'm saying, and really gratify God in our lives. And ain't no weak sauce over here, you know what I mean? So we're going to continue to do this thing as Convrs8 do it.
Yep.
This is Darius J.
And I'm Stevie Neil.
This your girl Mella G.
With special guest assist, Brittnee.
Brittnee P.
J Soul.
Shevon C.
And this is Convrs8. We talked about it.
Yes, we did.
We out. Hey, don't let nobody give you no hot sauce out the refrigerator.
Leave the house immediately.
So yeah.
Outside for 3 months.
Okay,
Yeah.
so everybody, are you ready
For the
Truly-Wed game?
Man, we played no Truly-Wed game.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we have our boards and everything.
I think Brittney's hungry.
Oh, that's what these was for. I just thought it was writing stuff out thinking.
We can keep them for that purpose, but
It's not that many questions.
Hey, it did work out because I was able to, put our.
This is where it get funny right
You know
there.
what I mean?
that's right. This is where you reward the visual, like people who are watching as opposed to listening.
Thank you so much for sticking with us, guys.
Yes.
This is really not going to be that long. It's some just fun questions
Yes.
to help us to continue to know these people more and see if they know each other.
Yay!
We don't really know each other like that.
Okay.
Great confident.
It's like, oh,
give me what
what's
you
the
got.
question?
All right.
Okay, so wives, you will be going first.
Okay.
I'm just gonna alternate between you both. So the question is, complete this sentence. It must be true that opposites attract because my spouse and I are total opposites when it comes to blank.
Ooh, the deep cuts.
It must be true that opposites attract because my spouse and I are totally opposites when it comes to blank.
Are both of us doing this? Or just
No,
Shevon?
it's just you and Shevon.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I got what you mean. Now.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then
But
we'll
they
ask
need to
them.
write their answer down so that we know, if it's legit, right?
Can we fit multiple?
Oh yeah, well, you can do that then,
Okay.
instead of just
Wait,
asking.
so now
That's
you-
Look at
No,
this.
she said
There's
you are.
another-
You are
good.
now.
That's a good one. Yeah.
He said you are.
So don't let her see it. Don't let
Yeah,
her
I
see
can't
your
see it.
answer,
I'm turned away from him.
because you're gonna reveal your answer
So
at the
he
same
said total
time.
opposites
When it
and
comes
It must
to-
be true that opposites attract because my spouse and I are total opposites when it comes to
oh my
blank.
gosh.
You have a 2-minute time limit.
Cool.
2 minutes. That's too
1
long.
minute. Well, 30 seconds.
Oh gosh.
Okay, like I put like 3.
I just got one.
Rashad, I don't think there's any prize. I think that
This is just.
this is for everybody's entertainment purposes.
This is either to
Alright.
increase or
This is where you
decrease.
start arguing on the way home. This is
What am I
First of all-
getting?
start arguing on the way home.
All right, time.
Okay.
Okay.
color.
So, I'm gonna say the sentence again, and Shevon, you tell me. You guys show your answer at the same time.
Okay.
Complete this sentence. It must be true that opposites attract because my spouse and I are totally opposites when it comes
Well,
to.
no, we gotta guess first before we.
What was your answer there?
Money and cooking.
Money and cooking. What's your answer, Shevon?
I said socializing, money.
Show 'em.
And
That's what I ain't have enough time to write that down.
Oh, right.
And he's loud. I'm quiet.
They got money
He
together.
only got 2 days on there talking about he ain't had no time.
I know I was gonna put socializing, but I didn't know how to write it down, and I was like socializing. That's it. Because I was gonna say talking to people,
Same thing.
but I didn't want to write. I want to seem smart.
Right.
Because this is your case.
Well, you
It
got
helps.
at least one thing.
Yeah, I
to
got
go
one
with.
thing.
Okay.
Right.
Um,
I'm a failure.
Steve, what is your answer?
My answer is food, seafood in particular. We're kind of opposites on that.
I said family time.
Ooh.
They
Burn.
don't know.
That is actually correct. That is actually correct.
Smoke in the city.
Yes. Man, we're already home. So.
Okay, husbands, this question is for you.
For us.
When your wife says they're playing our song, what song is she hearing?
Oh man.
Oh.
Look at him. He's sick. He's sick.
What
already.
song
Look
is
out.
she?
He's sick.
The song she hearing?
When your wife says they're playing our song, what song is she hearing? You gotta write down your
You about to mess this up.
I'm gonna toast this. Our song.
That's our song. They're playing our song. What song is she hearing?
Yeah.
We got so many I can't figure out. They're playing our song. I gotta go into my song. I gotta go into some soul.
Alright.
No, I like Boosie Collins.
Stop.
But I also like Juvenile.
See, I forgot the artist and the song. But
Time.
Okay.
We're gonna start with Steve. So when your wife says they're playing our song, what song is she hearing?
I put There Goes My Baby, Usher Raymond. I redeemed myself.
Darius,
crazy,
when your wife says they're playing our song, what song
And
is she
I know
hearing?
I'm wrong, but I can't help. I just thought about the song that I just did. Fantasy by Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Nice.
What's
I
the
know
song?
that ain't our song, but we
No,
got
the
2 minutes.
song- The song you walked out on.
I know, but I couldn't think of that song. I couldn't think of the name of that song.
I don't remember. The song he walked out
The
on.
song you walked out
Neither one of them
on.
remember
The
it.
song I walked out on.
Yeah, the song you walked out on.
Oh, that was James Brown.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, the song you walked out on was Ice Cream. What's the name of that?
Yeah.
Something LaRue.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Mella
Mella
G.
LaRue.
Yeah.
I do take.
Yeah,
I
I
do
do.
take.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
wives.
almost cried then, but I toughened up. I thought my nephew said, "Be strong, Uncle D."
Okay.
And I was like, you know what? I ain't no bum in these streets.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
I ain't blink no more.
This
But I had a
question is
blink,
for-
I would have cried.
This question is for the wives.
Okay.
If your home was on fire, after saving all family members and pets, what would your husband save next?
Huh?
Wow.
Say after.
If your home was
Look at
on
she got it
fire,
already.
after saving all the family members and pets.
That's for Shevon.
Yes, she's trying to
Oh,
figure out what you're
shoot.
gonna say.
No. You need to write what you gonna save.
What you gonna say?
And what- and we write what we think you're gonna say.
What
I'm
would
gonna
your
say-
husband save next?
No.
who going?
Can it be like you guys multiple things? Like,
she don't get this right.
Just one. This one. What would they say next? All right.
Get this right.
We gotta go. So, Shevon, if your home was on fire after saving all family members and pets, what would your husband save next? What's your what's your answer?
Shoes.
Yeah.
Sneakers.
So she wrote that down so fast, like you just got about some sneakers. I don't know.
I'm back.
What about you?
You don't so these dogs.
I said my PS4, my tablet.
I said your Mevo / your younger book.
That's my
So
tablet.
yeah.
Running back in the house.
Yep, this thing right here.
Okay.
I'm down with this.
Yeah.
This
Come
for the
out there with
husband.
my shoes smoking.
Look, hanging the smoke on. Oh, the sun messed these up.
For the husbands, what is your wife's greatest phobia? What is your wife's What is your wife's greatest phobia?
Oh, you writing a sentence.
No,
I can't wait.
You wrote it down, Sean? The way he was just angelically writing it.
Right, like he was passionate about.
Okay, we're gonna start with the Paterson.
I don't know. I couldn't
What
really
is your wife's
Brittney confident this
greatest
one.
I
phobia?
said dirty fingertips.
Oh, wow. Well, I did just say germs.
Oh.
It's a big thing.
Uh-oh. There's what?
Okay, there.
Not having enough money.
Yep.
Let's go. All right, wives. Complete this sentence. I wish my husband would stop. Like,
Stop blank.
Oh yeah, I know.
I wish my husband would stop blank.
Oh dang.
He just over there. Boop, 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 boop.
I'm done.
Okay.
My husband would stop.
Good.
That's a tough one. I get this one.
The Cummings has come back. You playing the games. Okay. All of this. Oh.
Got 10 seconds. Time.
Michelle said, dirty fingertips.
Okay.
Those real life phobias, man.
We're gonna start with the Cummings first. So I wish my husband would stop. Darius, what was your answer?
Yelling.
What was your?
Talking reckless.
Ooh.
Both dealing with the mouth.
The mouth.
What was your answer, babe?
All right, what was your answer?
This is something totally random. Like, just trying to dig in between my toes.
He let all the secrets out.
She's like, yes.
I wish I would have thought about
She was trying not to put you out there like that. She
Oh, what was your answer?
Doubting how amazing you are.
That's so sweet. Okay.
Oh, shit. Happens.
Stop it. Okay, husband.
Stop that television.
Husbands. If your wife could choose one thing of yours to get rid of, what would she choose? If your wife could choose one thing of yours to get rid of, what would she choose?
Oh. It's gonna tell some stuff.
Oh.
Terry's supposed to write down.
Oh, what happened?
Oh,
Yeah,
gosh.
still going.
If your wife could choose one thing of yours to get rid of, what would she choose?
Let me see.
You know, I got this jacket.
Stop.
Oh,
What if he write down something that she didn't think of? Like, oh yeah, you're right.
Matter of fact,
I know what he's gonna put, but I think it's gonna.
or
Different.
they already got rid of it.
talking about anything she'll get rid of. That
Well,
yours.
no, of-
Everything
like of yours.
that she-
Okay, yeah, I got it.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Level up.
Level up. Level up. Level up. Level up.
Oh, I just thought of something.
Okay, the Paterson.
Okay.
It's probably this
I
oversized
need
sweater
to
or
go see.
cardigan that I have.
No, remember I shrank it so it fits now.
Oh, that's
Dang
right.
it.
I said your Black Panther cap.
Wow. But I know why, because it wrinkles
leaves a
my
dent,
head.
It leaves a dent like
Because
right
of how
here.
it's designed. It like wrinkles my head when I take it off.
What up,
She don't like
Jesus?
that.
No, it looks.
What?
I said nothing.
Oh, I'm about to say anything with holes in it.
No, but honestly, I thought about that after I wrote this, and I was just like, but he did have
The
some.
drawers got no.
Yeah, no. No, I started throwing the stuff.
Yeah, she started throwing it away because I was like, hey man, where my black polo shirt, man? You know what the holes in that shirt was comfortable, yo.
They have like 5 holes in the head.
It was just
It's
one.
comfortable because it probably felt like you had nothing on because it got some.
Yeah, Rashad, I thought for a second she was going in on the hat, but then I remembered the reason why she doesn't like it.
Okay.
Because it's fitted, so it wrinkles my head.
He was
It's like
shocked. He
exactly.
was like,
All right, wives. If your husband could hang out with a famous person, who would he choose?
ooh,
Oh wow.
uh-oh. Be careful here.
Dead or alive?
Either way.
I don't
I
even
think
know
I
who I
would
would
say
say.
somebody else.
I feel like I know what he's gonna say though.